How y'all be sounding. We was the original trees. We didn't come from Africa. We was the original trees. And my dad had talked to his grandfather, and his grandfather had said to his sister's cousin, uncle's grandfather, he used to have leaves for hair. He used to have leaves for hair, and see, and it'll be somebody else on here that goes, yeah, because I remember my auntie, grand uncle, his birth certificate, we did our genealogy, his birth certificate had bark. It had bark on it because we was copper colored, but we was bark colored. We was bark colored too. And it'll be like a bunch of people in the comments, y'all ain't know that already? Y'all didn't know that already? You didn't know we was trees? I been known we was the original trees. But see, brother, we was more than the original trees. We the foundational original trees. And it'll be zero sources, and it'll be a million people in the comments going, wow, I always felt we was the original trees. Oh my God. We was trees. We was the original trees. Nah, I always knew we wasn't from Africa.
Yeah. Kings. Yeah. Coming straight out of the Nile, I'ma tell you about a great big liar. Yeah, but Egyptians was not white. Them college niggas ain't right. Built the pyramid. Look at them lips, look at them hips. That booty so round, you know that girl be brown.
So you mean that we was like, whoa?
We was kings and shit, boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit, nigga, what you gonna do? Ramses was black, Tutankhamun was black. Y'all know Cleo was black. Who made it into space? Nigga, that was the black race.
You're welcome.
They covered it up in the books. Bunch of cracker-ass crooks.
Tell it again.
You can even go out of Egypt, find out who the real chosen people. Mozart, Beethoven, King George, Vikings. They was all black.
We was kings and shit, boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit, nigga, what you gonna do? So what you saying is like, but what you always talk about is, do you mean that we was like, what? Her sisters, blood ran through us, the hooligan battle, oppressing all yours. Just remember this one little thing. We was kings and shit, but you know that it is true. We was kings and shit, nigga, what you gonna do? I don't even know what I'm saying no more, dude. Shit.
En la Plaza de Reyes, la 50, soplón, yeah, ¿qué vas a saber? ¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltóme. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flojo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Elevé mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tablet? Juro por mis abuelos que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chinchado neto, búscame por pico sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi pro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle taco pro. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjame decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el black shit metal. oye el soplón.
Dinero Luigi, man, desempeño a la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, it's money gang, gang, yeah, yeah, Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Y soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles. Y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto. Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como lujo. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto. Pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. La super rafina, la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un style. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste se peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás, yeah. La calle limeña aquí nadie la dueña, ya nada es igual, yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste se peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás, yeah. La calle limeña aquí nada le dueña, ya nada es igual, yeah. Tienes que respetar, yeah. Si yo soy tu papá, yeah, yeah, yeah. Es Incas Mob, negro. Yeah, es Incas Mob, nigga. Yeah, Nero Luigi, man. Incas Mob, yeah. It's money gang, 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 yeah.
Ey, yao. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman pa' que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el mes. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3. Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en CD brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré la ola que los expande. Aunque esto me pique en la madera, no sirven ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero tras la barrera y llego con la novedad. Niña, tú solo espera que ya encontré la manera. He visto bastante por querer lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso al depósito, yo soy de púlpito pa' que el mundo conociéramos. De esta parte mejor interprete que ha parido esta cordillera. Sin luz afuera, que el espectáculo es dentro. La calle es mi templo, tiembla el pavimento. Cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas. La calle un poema, se siente desde cuando entro. Y a toditos estos drogaditos que creen que rapean, los regreso al centro de mi balcón. Yo he visto el clon de clon en la misma gestión, pero a la malla no llega el balón. Y para esta pantalla no soy el patrón. Yo ya me sé la cuestión y doy fe por cada renglón. Consciente de la operación, definiendo el Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Yango en la maldita casa, plaza de rey y papá. El Nero Luigi, Black Cimental, hip hop peruano, rasgo en la maldita base. Yao, yao, yao.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
otro lado, los fantasmas del pasado no se detendrán hasta verte derrumbado. Peores lo hemos pasado. Andaba a golpes con la tristeza, me aportó riqueza, me otorgó sabiduría, pues se dibujaba en todas mis piezas. Yo con alegría le daba color después. La aguja sigue girando, tiempo parece burlar de mí. Dijo que sanaría esperando, pero creo que la espina aún sigue ahí. Con los dedos lo voy palpando, cierro los puños, escapa de aquí. Agonizando, no me espera el tiempo, no voy a esperar por ti.
Nuestras huellas en la orilla se han borrado por la marea. Si esas estrellas ya no brillan, las entiendo pa' que veas. Sea donde sea, bajo la tormenta o dentro de la odisea, donde arañas cubren el cielo de tela, los aviones nadan y los barcos vuelan. Aunque parezca que va bien, no sabes bien si va mal. Besos que pueden doler, ojos que pueden matar. Tengo mi alma en el almacén encerrada, mi corazón está en huelga, mis sentimientos en ámbar. Gente, Calamala dijo que estaría presente. Fallaron como nunca, se fueron pa' siempre. Millones razones pa' vengarme, pero a veces duele más actuar indiferente.
Como no quieren ver ahogados, tenemos branquias y cerrados los bronquios como la mente de un guardia. Yo soy la montaña y vine con la cordillera. Más cojones que tu ganga tiene una madre soltera. Tú cúbrete si suena mi tu. A mi lado tengo soldados fumando de su palulu. Y un conjuro de grimorio me lo salva del velorio. Pa' tener pila valorio, se matan vestidos de emporio. Y yo no quiero una pistola, estoy soñando que la vida que quería me llega a tiempo. Desde que yo la vi sola, loco ando. Vino a verme cuando el sol se estaba poniendo y se dejó una pluma y se perdió en la bruma. Nunca se despidió de mí, nunca se despidió de mí.
Vivo en un mundo que parece roto y sé que no, porque todo es perfecto y lo debo plasmar. Me fumo un trocolo tras otro y lo veo todo otro color. Me siento libre porque vuelvo a conectar. Mi gente sufre y no lo puedo evitar, más que dándole consejos siempre desde la humildad. Es su camino hacia la fraternidad. Solo puedo que enseñarles a respetar y amar. Con esta bendición, como no voy a aprovechar los códigos que llegan, los tenemos que aceptar. Si me reencarné fue para ayudar y no para malgastar mi tiempo en beneficio del mal. En la unión nace la fuerza y eso nos hace juntar las ganas que siempre tuvimos para iluminar a la gente que se le ocurra y la malla armonizar. Vinimos para dar fuego a la que no nos va a quemar.
Arda y por dentro la llama, no puedo contener la ras. Churruscao el corazón, el armazón no puede llegar a pesarme más. Si abro la boca, tu tumba al suelo, me muelo a diario y sobrado de gas. Escupo risas perfectas, paladas de versos eternos, no mueren jamás. Cuando acabe mi condena, me vi muy solo y perdido. Cada vez más negra la flema, más elegante el problema, pero planté cara a todos mis enemigos. Recuperé las ganas, las fuerzas y el garbo. Dedico requiems a mis diablos, que aquí estoy vivo de milagro. Delicadas flores crecieron entre los cardos. Me dicen bien, es más delgado que de costumbre. Será de tanto que he bailado en el alambre, que a tanta pena es mejor no ponerle nombre. Llevamos la música en vena, nuestra sangre.
Okay, let's see if it's working. All right, let's see. So far, so good. My family. Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all are doing well. Get that up. Get it there. All right. Okay. Just kidding, man. Saludos, shalom. Hope everybody's doing good today. You guys, man, endure. You know what I'm saying? I trust me, my gente. I know how it feels, man. Our families are, they're doing damn Christmas thing, and even though I miss them, I don't tell my kids that because they're getting older, and it's just something that we just got to endure. Okay, so don't think that it doesn't happen to even to some of us that supposedly have a little more understanding, and I say that with humility. That's why. Anyhow, so all will be revealed. What's up, Pedro Q, Quam, Shalom, bro, El Rey. Let's see. Buenos días, Jeremias. What's up, Rick? Experto. El Martinez. What's up, bro? Shalom. There you go, man. That's it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? Because today is definitely a very. You can feel it in the air. You can sense it in the spirit. I've had a conversation with my wife and my kids, and of course, you know what I'm saying. They miss their family because right now they're hanging out. You know what I'm saying. So that is part of the walk. That is the test that you are going to go through. Okay, so just don't hang in there. That's all I could tell you, man. Endure. Sirach 2:1 says, if you come to serve our Father Yahoo, prepare thy soul for temptation. So anyhow, let's go begin the class, fam. So the class, as you see, the title is called. So we're about to debunk some more funk. Okay, we're about to debunk some more funk, and this is why it is imperative for even you individuals that think you know what you're talking about, or trust in certain people that you gotta wonder they look nothing like you. What benefit is in that? If it's all based on looks, if it's all based on phenotype, and he has nothing to do with you, why then does he show so much love? So, as you see, some of us who are like the scriptures say it very clearly, and I understand that there are people here that are going to believe otherwise and tell you that we don't belong to the Most High, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That we how come you're not showing the whole screen? What's going on with this? Okay, that we that we're there's gonna be a couple titles that we go through. You know what I'm saying, family? But one of the things that we was told. Hold on, what the hell's going on here? One of the things that we were told was this: if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So let's begin. First Corinthians. First Corinthians. First Corinthians. Okay. It says here, 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh. You see that? Not many wise men after the flesh. This has nothing to do with their phenotype or muscle. Not many mighty. It literally just follows up on that. Not many noble. Not the well-known ones. Not the supposedly, the ones you look up to, which society adores right now. No, not those. Not many mighty. Let's go back again. Not many wise men after the flesh. Those people, individualites that supposedly know and theorize all on TV and videos and pay and get paid so much money to repeat what the scriptures already say. But because you guys are too lazy to read, it's okay with that. Then it says here, not many mighty. Oh shoot! Wait a minute. Hold on a second. But people are telling us we're the number one tribe in the number one nation in the entire earth. God picked us because look at us. We're so mighty. It just says right now He ain't even picking you. Not many noble are called, but God, meaning our Creator, Yahoo, has chosen the foolish things of the world, meaning you people right here. those things of the world. You know, like for me, example, they come to this channel and call you a Mongol, or what it really means, like mongrel. That's a very insulting terminology, and we're going to cover that today. Or the other favorite terminology that even Nate the Snake uses. Yeah, I know you guys don't know that, but I'm going to show you that too. You see, again, the flesh, meaning, I'm sorry, let me repeat this again. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. A real demon does not hide when you listen closely. Then it says here, ye see your calling now, brethren, again, how not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. You see what I'm saying, family? To confound the wise. He didn't choose. That's right. No NFL player, no NBA player, no governor, no president. No, because you could run a 4.3 or because you could jump 40 inches high. No, that's not why. He wants nothing to do with that, because you want to know something. There's other nations mightier than the nation of our people. Yahushua, that's the name. Don't be calling him Israel. Israel. You guys need to start breaking that word down, family. We're gonna get some deep stuff going into this, moving forward with this. Let me show you something. So let's get off the high horse too. For whoever you are that understands these scriptures do belong to certain people, but are also open to others in a particular category. Let's get that clear. But remember, Deuteronomy 4:38. Look what it says. It says to drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art. So explain that. How in the world does it? I'm sorry. You guys said that it's about the flesh. He picked you because you're the greatest people in the entire world. To drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art. If you ruled all sports, how does that apply to you? To bring thee in, to give thee their land for inheritance, as is this day. Know therefore this day, and consider it in thy mind that Yahoo, he is our creator, God in heaven above and upon the earth beneath. There is none else. And that's exactly why, right out the following sense, he said, thou therefore his statutes and his commandments, they're not yours. They're our creators, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, that the Lord may prolong thy days upon the earth, with Yahoo, thy God, had given thee forever. So that's why today is an important day of not celebrating those damn heathenish holidays. But it's also an important day, family, because you know what? I was looking really forward to this class. For a lot of reasons. I had a very good test this weekend. And all praises to our glory, our creator, man, that he was able to, give me that understanding, man, to just, subdue my own understanding and give wisdom to the spirit, to the laws. And I kept remembering as a child, or I thought as a child, understood as a child, but now as a man, things are different. Anyhow, so let's go back. 1 Corinthians 1:26. Now, first, let's go to 27 now. But God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. He even showed that and proved that in Deuteronomy 4. Nothing has changed. Yeshayahu, which is the actual name of our people, of the nation of Jerusalem, so to speak, for lack of better understanding, okay? They were chosen from the get-go, and not because they were mighty people. Matter of fact, let's remember Joshua took several, and the rest, and they all came back scared, like, damn, them dudes are 6'7", 8 feet tall, maybe. There's only a few nations of people that represent those type of heights, and we see them every single day. But but it says here, the base things of the world, but God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And those things that are mighty also have political power, and guess what? Economic power to market their so-called doctrine that says, oh, we got the truth, and it's all a lie. That's what they have. They have the economic power, the political power behind what? EB1, whatever that IRS, filing. Do you guys realize that these camps, specifically IUIC, makes well over $20 billion. I think more than that, 20 million a year. Nate the Snake, which we're going to hear today, calling you guys mamzers because they don't look like him, makes about that much. That's his net worth. Make it make sense. He ain't no different than TD Jakes. It is, huh? That's crazy. That's nuts. What about now? Give me a second. Hold on, let me close the window. That's probably what it is. I think somebody's finally messing around with this channel. Nah, it's not. Nah, it's just literally like, I don't know, man. I ain't making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Just keep an eye on it for me. Because on my end, it looks good. At least on my end. Okay. All right. So anyhow, hopefully you guys can see it. Let me go here. We were here. And we were here. So now we understand exactly. Do you understand now what the actual calling is? Because the verse 25, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. You see, family, he wasn't looking for power or might. That's not what he's looking for. Not at all. He wants those that seek wisdom. That's why, verse 20, let me skip in verse 28. The base things of the world and the things which are despised had God chosen. Most of these people are not despised, family. And on the contrary, mon frere, there's more empathy pushing for them than in you. And I don't mean that, oh, poor we. Nah, hell no, man. Let's go to work. That's how we do it. And that's what we apply these commandments. And we continue to do it. And things which are not, to bring not things that are. You see, and things which are not. See, you guys are not the people of the Most High. Stop saying that. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to repent. But that is different. That's a different concept. That is a different concept here. Let me close this window here. Now, why am I talking about this scripture now? Because there's a couple topics that we're going to touch today. Okay? You absolutely know that there are people that are horse feeding dumb shit that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm going to tell you why they want your history, family. Okay? So let me tell you why. First of all, let's tackle this on this end because we already know they're ruckus and stupidity. And it's not going to change because that's just the way just the way things are. It is your job to fight for your heritage. It is your job to fight for your heritage, okay? Check this out. It's pretty crazy that it's not wanting to show that, but okay, whatever. This is from a book called The Scriptures Gazetteer, okay? I've showed this book to you several times. So let's start with the basics as to why your history matters. And let's dissect it a little bit before we get into other things, like, for example, the class and then the top type of Mamza. And it is certainly remarkable that Moctezuma, in his speech to celebrated Cortez, explicitly declared that his ancestors were from the East. Garcia, in his treatise on the origin of the Indians, says in the introduction of the third book, many have supposed that the Spaniards, which were European, meaning they weren't all white, okay, and their slaves, so-called slaves, were not slaves, more servants, assistants. Black conquistadors too. Let's keep that real. Anyway, let's continue. Generally, who reside in Indies believe that the Indians proceeded from the 12 tribes who were lost in time of Shalmaneser, king of Israel, king of Assyria. Now, we know that at this time, in the 1600s, this was a common theory because nobody could really prove it. As we know, no, not even their own culture sometimes. Okay, so we understand that, especially when Diego Sumarrama did everything possible to burn all our codices. Let's not forget that, family. And he's the one that gave us the Virgin Mary, that stupid damn beast demon. He also gave us these Padre Nuestro, Queredo, Los Diez Mandamientos, Ave Maria. He's the one that force-fed those things to us, okay? So as he feeds us this so-called doctrine, he at the same time is burning our history. But this was the theory, okay? Because this is when these other men started coming. Because they're like, wait a minute, Spaniards, man. Y'all really destroyed these people. Yeah. Why? Most of these Spaniards, remember, they were converts. Converts from what? From so-called Judaism. And most of these people, if you really understand what this concept means, is this: that Christianity didn't only apply to a particular type of person. Christianity was not solely based on what you guys assume, fam. It was way different than you can even imagine. Sometimes, when I'm doing some research, I'll see some pictures, right? And I sometimes forget to like take pictures of them. But I have this, I guess I thought I had this link, and apparently I don't anymore. But I found this picture of, it was from a video that my wife and I were watching from like a long time ago, I think it was like a history channel. And in this history channel, it was showing some of the artifacts from North Africa. Okay. Now, some of these artifacts, here it goes. Some of these artifacts were like, let me see this. Some of these artifacts were paintings, right? And I find it so funny because check this out. Even in this history, there was people that, I'm going to turn it down for a second. There was people, which I find it so interesting, right? And look at how they depict, first of all, look how they depict St. Peter, okay? All right, let's look how they depict St. Peter, but then how they depict, what do you call that guy's name? Okay, for the sake of them not blocking me, let me put this up here. So this is how they depict Peter, okay? Okay, let's listen for a second. Let's listen for a second. Check it.
Representation.
He is being protected by the Apostle Peter. Now, Peter here looks a little different, don't he? But he says that this is the Petro bishop.
This particular one is really interesting because it's a
Nubian bishop. You see, this was already Christianity, family. So let's continue.
Of a Nubian bishop. His name is Petros or Peter, and he is being protected by the Apostle Peter. And so we have two Peters here. And this act of a biblical figure putting his hands on the shoulder of a contemporary figure.
Now, I find that very interesting because we are being told that there was no such thing as so-called misunderstanding at that time. So again, let's go back to the point. Why does this matter? Who were the Spaniards and what did they look like? That's why when you read the Maya conquistadors, you see that those 21 padres, those 21 black padres, they hated our native people. So why are the so-called natives calling them black? This is why they want your history. This opinion is grounded on the disposition, nature, and customs of the Indians, which they found were very similar to those of Hebrews. And although some learned men are disciplined to assent to such a belief, I nevertheless have bestowed great diligence upon the verification of this truth. So it's just what he's stating. The Jews themselves have entertained a strong belief that America was colonized by the 10 tribes. They themselves said it. So here we see the customs, circumcision, the expected Messiah. Many were military celebrations connected to riots. They resembled many ways of how we carried ourselves. The moral existence between the Indians and in the Hebrew moral laws. The knowledge with the Mexicans and Peruvian tradition supplied that the Indians supposed the history contained in the Pentateuch. The Mexican traditions of the Teomotli, the divine book of Toltecs, but it's actually the divine book of Moses. Moses. The famous migration from Aztlan, otherwise Asia, The traces of Jewish history, yada, yada, yada. The Mexican paintings, the fringes, right? Also, the food. Remember, the only, actually, one of the few insects we can eat is what? Grasshoppers. You tell me what other nation ever read that.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Never has, never will be. These analogies are thus enumerated as conclusively proving that the Aborigines of South America are of Hebrew origin and the descendants of the 10 tribes. Okay, so we see South America, right? Okay. So now Colomiados is going to basically only use certain things that have nothing to do with those people. But he'll picture it like a certain way where, look. Here, don't look at that. Page, real quick, and then we'll move on. Page 68 says, with respect to the famous migration of the Mexicans from Aztlan, Asia, to the country of Anahuac, observe a commentator on the Mexican antiquities in the origen de los Indios. Now, remember, Asia was a vast nation. It wasn't just China and Japan. It was India. It was Middle East. It was Russia. It was all that. It was all that. North Asia, South Asia, East Asia. That's why you have Asia Minor. Hello. Don't be stupid. Don't play stupid with me. For they have Mexican nations which arrived from the 7 caves, yada, yada, yada. You guys can read this. It's a very interesting book. See, it says here, thus endeavoring to the account for the traditions which existed, the ceremonies observed among the Mexicans and the Aborigines of America, and the trace of their origin from 10 tribes. The Mexicans have been farther identified with the lost tribes of Israel. I'm looking over here on this side, by the names and attributed which were assigned to the Creator. It is unnecessary to quote the words in their original. They designated him the Most High, the Lord of our bodies, of our life, God of heaven, God of fire, the God of ages, the supreme, the great and terrible one, the master of paradise. Which is why they want your heritage. They'll do anything, literally, even to the point of deceit. Scriptures clearly say not to do that. Scriptures are clear about not doing that at all. And I don't understand why you tend to forget that. You tend to forget that law. I mean, you say the Israelite, can't even say it. Well, let me show you a law, okay, that you're supposed to keep. Exodus 23:1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. So I'm going to show you how you raise false reports. And for you suckers that believe the word mamzer, I'm also going to punk you real quick, and your grandpappy. You know, the guys that sit at the throne of your IOIC rooms. You know, the purple and good. Yeah, that guy. But not thy hands with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Again, thou shalt not raise false report. Wabos, BHIs. Y'all are full of false reports. And I'm going to prove it tonight. First of all, on the Wabo side, and then I'm going to go to IOIC and punk him real quick. I'm going to kick your leader's ass real quick. Real quick, I'm going to slap him in the face real quick. Maybe some of his hair will fall off. Maybe he'll start realizing what he's actually about. And maybe some of you dumbass Hispanics in there are going to find out hardcore. I'm sorry to talk to you that way, but you know what? You are raising false report too. Psalms 38. I'm sorry, man. I know you guys been posting some scriptures. Let me go back on this real quick. Let me see what you got, because I kind of like that one. I think it's kind of, give me a second. Psalms 31, 38. All right, sorry. Psalms 31, 18. It says, let the lying lips be put to silence. Man, that's beautiful, bro. Let me do that again. Woo! Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. That's a beautiful, beautiful scripture. Because it's very true. It's very true, man. If you really think about, just let the lying lips be put to silence, man. Perfect follow-up with this, bro. Exodus 23. Thou shalt not raise a false report. put that lie to silence. Let me slap that out of your face. Thou shalt not follow the multitude to do evil. Verse 2. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Let me interpret that just a little bit for you. Okay? Let's look at some different interpretations of that, family. Check this out, man. I remember reading this, and it gave me a one of those good translations, man. Hold on. Exodus 20. I like looking at the translations. Okay? It's important. Bible translations. It says, you shall not, get off, man. You shall not circulate a false report, right? Do not put your hands with the wicked to be unrighteous. You must not pass along false rumors. Do not spread false report. Right? It tells you right there. Don't do that. Don't do that. Then it says here, right here, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. You see what it says? You should not follow a crowd to do evil. Oh, well, it's the wheat and the tares, Zach. It's the wheat and the tares. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying. But yet he's spitting in your face. These people spit in your face. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as some to turn aside after many to pervert justice. Meaning, don't be like, yeah, you're right, Goody Mill. You're right, Goody Mill. Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong when you are called to testify in dispute. You know why? Because every freaking word that comes out of your mouth, you're going to be judged for it. So you have to be mindful, even if you're following this character, why he's doing that to you guys. And you that is listening to him, or every randomly, and if he's maybe put some bitterness in you, you are also a fool to fall for this stupidity, because that means that you're not doing your homework. If you allow this dumbass to wrest judgment on you, which then determines how you feel about the rest of your so-called lost heritage or not, then it's you who's the fool. So again, listen, family. These spirits of wickedness, they come in all shapes and colors. Mexicans practice circumcision, dedicated their children to the temple, and afterwards sent them to be instructed in the doctrines of their religious and ceremonial laws. The rite, says Humboldt, of baptizing children and presenting them with an offering at the temple seemed to be a confusion of the Christian ceremony with the Jewish customs and traditions, which, however distant in the period, the manner in which it was affected, the longer we meditate on the religious rites of the Mexican and Peruvians, my so-called lineage, the more we are inclined to believe did actually take place. 1 Corinthians 3:18. Let no man deceive himself. Thank you, bro. I like that. Sorry about that. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool. Why? That he may be wise. So why does it say, let him become a fool that he may be wise? That means that to realize, hey, listen, you may not know all the shit. Sometimes it's okay to be like, you know what? I'm not right on this 100%. I really need to do my homework on this. I'm telling you, family. So now let's go ahead and tackle this other book. Because see, these wobbles, these dumbass wobbles, I'm going to call you that. Because I'm sorry, that's what you are. You're falling for the folly. So I'm just going to call you what you are. This is the history of the American Indians. You guys love to run to this guy. James Adair. Your papa. You love to run to Papa. But you don't read his books. It's like, radio, Pappy, I want you to show me and make me feel good. Please, Pappy. It don't work that way, man. You cannot try to be somebody you're not. Because you want to know something? At the end of the day, truth prevails. And no matter how much weight you think you have, celebrities to believe in that, well, so what? At the end of the day, history will always repeat itself. From the get-go, there was a nation of people that wanted to take our heritage, which is why there were certain people in that land called Canaan. It's happening again. Again. Let me show you some pages here real quick. Okay? So he starts off with the Indians. Let's read. The Indians are, hold on a second, are of a copper or reddish color, and they delight in everything which they imagine may promote and increase it. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you something, family. I'm from Guadalajara, right? Guanatos. Anyways, so, for the idiot that doesn't even know what Guanatos means, it wasn't Guanajuato way. Anyways, so I'm from there, and I was, so there is very mountainish. I wasn't raised on the beach. I came over here when I was, very young. Anyways, but I was by the beach. Every summer, as I got older, I could see my tan increase, and then I figured out a method on how to increase my tan so it wouldn't peel. You know what I mean? Because if you don't moisture your skin, it does peel. I mean, it's common sense for anybody. If you don't have that melanin in you, you just have a really bad red mark, red looking. But I didn't. I have a really nice tan, right? So, but I would build up to it, and then by the end of the summer, it was going basically the winter, and wearing more sweaters and not as many tank tops, and now all of a sudden, I get light again. So that's why this makes sense to me. They imagine may promote and increase it. Why? Because remember, if you live and work under the sun, you got to understand that if you don't take care of your skin, you're gonna burn. Accordingly, they paint their faces with vermilion as the best and most beautiful ingredient. If we consider the common law of nature and providence, we shall not be surprised of this custom. For everything loves best its own likeness and place in the creation, and is disposed to ridicule its opposite. Check this out. If a deformed son of burning Africa, so now he's talking about Africa, was to paint the devil, he would not do it in black color. Oh, so he called Africans what? Black. Earlier he said they were what? Copper, red. Okay, let's continue. All right, so let's see. Now he's defining blackness to his understanding. If deformed, I'm sorry, looking back, he would not do it in black color, nor delineate, I guess, nor delineate from him from sagged, coarse, woolly head. You see? So it's saying that Africans are black and have woolly hair. In the very beginning of the chapter, he is identifying Africans. So now, family, let's get this right with Waboism. You mean to tell me that you look just like Africans and you're not? But yet, some of our gente may look Asian, but some of our gente looks Arab, some of our gente looks Samoan, some of our gente looks like Indian from India, right? And some of our gente looks like, like just say so-called Mexicans, right? Yet you say we are them, those Asians over there, those Mongols. You want us to believe that, but yet you look straight African, and you want us to believe that you're the native of this land? Make it make sense. I don't know. Okay, well, let's continue, because this is the book that you love to bring out. Let's listen to this. Okay, then it says, it wouldn't be, okay, let me read it again. If the deformed son of burning Africa was to paint the devil, he would not do it in black color like him, nor delineate him with shag, coarse, woolly head like him, nor with thick lips like him, or a short, flat nose like him, or clumsy feet like him, like those of a bear. No. You see what he's saying? He's just identified Africans right here on the very first chapter. Wobbles, you guys look Africans. He's literally calling you out right now. James Adair, who you love to run to. If a deformed son of burning Africa was to paint the devil, he would not do it in black color. Meaning that if you saw the devil, his understanding would be like, you wouldn't paint him like how you look. You would paint him opposite of you. Nor with thick lips, nor short, flat nose, nor curly, clumsy feet, I guess, or whatever that is. His devil would be present one of a different nation or people. But was he to draw an agreeable picture according to the African taste? He would dub it all over with Sati black. All the Indians are so strongly attached to and prejudiced in favor of their own color that they think as meanly of the whites. You see how he just identified himself? One nation and another nation right here. And another nation right here, which he said initially right here. Here. Okay? So now it says here, all the Indians are so strongly attached to and prejudiced in favor of their own color that they think as meanly as the whites as we possibly can do of them. The English traders among them experience much of it and are often very glad to be so allowed to pass muster with the Indian chieftain as a fellow brethren of the human species. Then it says, let's see here. Let me continue. Where's it at? Is this the book that I have that I was using? Give me a second, family. I'm just gonna get to the points. This is page 20. What page is it? Let me just get to the pages. We're gonna go to page okay, that one, and then where's this one? Move it. I guess I'll try to read here too. Let's continue. Let's see. Here it goes. The hotter or colder the climate is, where the Indians have long resided, the greater portion have they either of the red, the white, and the color. I mean, am I missing something here, fam? Honestly, am I missing anything? Am I crazy? Here, man, y'all are welcome to hit the link, bro. Pedro, hit the link. All will be revealed, man. Jump on, bro. Jaime Jimenez, go ahead, man. Jump on, man. Just join me. Why not? That was the plan. Show what you got. Or just stick around. The hotter or colder the climate is, where the Indians have long resided, the greater portion they have either of the red, Adama, like Genesis 2:7, or white, right? And color. I took particular notice of the Shawano Indians as they were passing from the northward within 50 miles of the Chickasaw country, to that of the Creeks. And by comparing them to the Indians, which I campaigned to their camp, I observed that the Shawano to be much fairer than the Chickasaw. You see? Much fairer, meaning more lighter skin than the Chickasaw. Oh my God. Guys, don't read. Though I am satisfied their endeavors to cultivate the copper color, meaning that they will use what? Watch this. Which are like, the copper color were alike. Many incidents and observations led me to believe that the Indian color is not natural. Woo! Why is that, family? Like I said before, in the summer, I tan very well. For example, I have two children that are about 20 and 23. And I have two children that are 11 and almost 3. And the first ones were born in the summer. They have beautiful tans. Like, they're tan skin. The younger ones were born in the winter. And guess what? They're lighter skinned than me. Make it make sense. So again, my wife and I trip on that. Like, man, that's crazy, huh? Yeah. Because of our so-called DNA. We have a very complex DNA. More complex than so-called white and black. But I know they won't believe that. So let them. Let them believe what they want to believe. Many incidents and observations led me to believe that the Indian color is not natural, but that the external difference between them and the whites. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, what? Slow down real quick. You see this, family? Let's read this slowly. But that the external difference between them and the whites proceeds. No, now he did not compare them. He did not compare our gente to black people, did he? He didn't compare you to black people. But the external difference between them and the whites proceeds entirely from their customs and methods of living, and not from any inherent spring of nature, meaning that just because they were so-called tan, red, or brown, and it wasn't natural. We'll find out more. And it says here, proceeds entirely from their customs and method of living. I'm sorry, but that the external difference between them and the whites proceeds entirely from their customs and method of living, and not from an inherent spring of nature. What does he mean by this? Which will entirely overturn Lord Cain's whole system of color and separate race of men. Righteousness. Why is he saying that the difference between them and us wasn't necessarily because of custom or method of living? I'm sorry, that it preceded more of the custom and method of living. This is why. That the Indian color is merely accidental or artificial appears pretty evident. Beautiful, bro. Sirach 4:28. That's Ecclesiasticus 2. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Remember, these books were taken out by the Protestants. Let's read. Strive for the truth unto death. And Yahweh shall, Yahoo, excuse me, I'm trying to wash away with that. And Yahoo shall fight for thee. So that's why I don't stop, family. And it's not even of choice. The time that I stop, then the spirit is gone. That's my only conclusion. Because this is going to be an everlasting fight. Meaning, this is not about this. It's about, because once you know that you have a commitment to a heritage, once you know that you have an obligation, once you understand how important these things are to us and why people want to fight and claim something that doesn't belong to them, even with sincerity, man. Like if you were really the gente, right? For real, if you were, I kid you not, even I would tell you, yeah, you're real, man. You are. Even I would tell you, I have no problem with that. But you're not. And that's when I have a problem with that. Because there's two sides of me that I'm also, dealing with. For example, there's a side of me where I have a very good control of my thoughts for the most part, and I tend to govern my spirit well enough so far in my stage of understanding. And I visualize my family and my gente, like we're all in one household, so to speak, in one land, living a decent life respectfully. We're all, doing our best to contribute to our community in a righteous manner, right? But then I also visualize, like, I hear people talking shit on the side, excuse my language, and I see that it's mostly people attacking gente that are not carrying, let's say, the same fighting spirit, so to speak. And I kind of get up and I'm like, I'll be back. And I go defend them. Because that's just something I have in me. So when I stop, something's wrong with me. Let me read. That the Indian color is merely accidental or artificial appears pretty evident. Yes, of course. Like I said, every summer, I get myself a little tan solution. I'd get the Hawaiian little lotion and then the iodine, some kind of iodine, like a tint. It looked brown. So I would mix it with oil. Their own traditions records them to have come to their present lands by the way of the West. Oof. The migration, the Great Migration. I've done a class on that. I'm the very first person, if not the only one so far, that has showed our gente where we really came from. And not no stupid ass Bering Strait so-called theory. No, not that. No, it wasn't about rice or nothing. No, it's literally the migration. But y'all want to believe that we went around Africa for a year and a half on boats? We were on boats for a year and a half. Do you guys realize we had grandmas, grandpas, children, breastfeeding kids, women on menstrual cycles? You know what I mean? Like, think about all that stuff. Cattle, gold. We had a bunch of stuff that the people were giving us. Even Ezra said that's what happened. So we're going to get on boats? We were enslaved for a long time. Where the hell did we get knowledge on boats? What did they do? Did so-called Canaan and Philistines come over here with us? Can't explain that so-called path, which is very easy to confuse you. Because what they do, is they take your insecurity and use it against you. Because those 4 years that I was in that room, I was fearful the whole entire time because I wasn't sure if I was in Israel of our people, Ishayahu. I wasn't sure. Because it was like, man, what if I'm not? Because all they say is Africa, Africa, Africa. And if you're not well understanding in history or scripture, you're going to believe it. And the Indian's color is merely accidental or artificial, appears pretty evident. Their own traditions record them to have their own that come to the present lands by the way of the West. Now, this also debunks that whole theory about us mixing with other nations. Get the hell out of here with that stupidity. No, that's not true. That's why 2,000 years ago, the government of Mexico brought out the actual picture of one of our sisters who was brown and light skinned, like she had like she was kind of albino, like spots, like my tia, right? So it sees that some of our sisters were light skinned, some of them weren't. So it clearly shows that it wasn't all of us that were so-called dark or so-called light skinned. But see, us gente understood that. We never had a problem with so-called colorism. We don't have a problem with that. We don't even have a problem with phenotype, so to speak. If you are, let's say you grew up in Mexico and you're my neighbor and you look like a so-called African, like you say you are, right? But you feel like you're a people, more like, man, I'm not going to doubt you. Why am I going to go against that? That's stupid of me. That's me being vainful, expecting you to look like a certain way because that's who you know. No, that's not what I believe in. But it's a different spirit that you guys are dealing with. And I know for a fact that I don't, man, it's like water and oil. Once again, Canaan and Ishayahu, our people again. Then it says here, their own traditions record them to have their present lands by the way of the West from a far distance, and where there was no variation of color in human beings. And they are entirely ignorant, which was the first or primitive color. You see, so they don't even realize if they were more light-skinned at first or dark-skinned at first. Besides, their rites, customs, and as we shall presently see, prove them to be Orientalists, meaning from Asia, India, Middle East, Russia, and China, because they also saw a variety of those features. And as the difference of color among the human species is one of the principal causes of separation, strife, and bloodshed. Now, keep in mind, family, that this is the book that Wobbles used. So, hey, Wobbles, you're claiming this book, so you can't get away from this concept either. So you're calling yourself you're calling us Mongols, but yet you're coming out of Asia too? That's pretty stupid, isn't it? Now, it says here, and one of the principal causes of separation, strife, and bloodshed, would it not greatly reflect on the goodness and justice of the divine being? Ignominiously to the brand numerous tribes and their posterities, with a color odious and hateful in the sight and opinion of those of a different color. Some writers have contended from, hold on to see if I'm going to continue to read this. The diversity, some writers have contended from the diversity of color that America was not peopled from any part of Asia or our old world, but that the natives were a separate creation. You see that, family? Because of that diversity of color. Because at that time, there were certain people from a group of people that they were just white or they were just black. Well, like, for example, Asians, they were like, I don't know, I want to say yellow or whatever color, like Asians, I guess they're whatever primitive color, so to speak, at that time. But we reflected all of those colors. That's what they're like, dude, these guys are creation of their own because they match almost every single color here. Now, that's what the guy's like, it's kind of artificial, though, because they do tan and they enjoy tanning. We're going to continue. Of this opinion is Lord Keynes, in which he labored to establish in his late publication entitled Sketches of the History of Man. But his reasoning on this point from a local creation is contrary to both the revelation and facts. His chief argument is that there is no single hair on the body of any American, nor the least appearance of the beard, which is not true. It is utterly destitute of foundation, as can be asserted by all who have had any communication with them of this merely presently. Moreover, to form one creation of white, a second creation of yellows, and a third for the blacks, as a weakness of which infinite wisdom is incapable. So he had a perception of nationalities which you didn't want to believe. He categorized people. He saw blacks, and see, even here he's identifying blacks, yellows, and whites. We are not any of these. I mean, I find it funny. And by the way, family, hit the likes, man, and share, especially today. You guys need to be sharing and hitting the likes and changing like accounts, I get, if you need to, because this one has to be shown, family. I'm going to touch on two important matters here. And we're going to go a couple hours. You know, I already know that. We got 1 hour in, probably another hour or maybe two, and that's it. Depending on how it goes, right? I don't want to do extra classes. I want this to be the class so you guys can watch it over and over again, because I'm going to go deep on this. We're going to debunk these fools. That's why I'm starting this way, fam. I'm setting it up. I want this to make clear sense. how he's going to use stupidity, then a video, and I'm going to show you the truth. Then it says, is a weakness of which infinite wisdom. Its operations are plain, easy, constant, and perfect. The variation, therefore, of colors among the human race depends upon the second cause. Lord Keynes himself acknowledged that in the Spanish inhabitants of Cartagena in South America lose their vigor and color in a few months. Like me. When I go into the winter, I lose my tan. We are informed by the anatomical observation of our anatomical. I think so. Anatomical. Damn, man. Observation of an American physician concerning the Indians, that they have discerned a certain fine cowl or web of a red glue substance close under the outer skin, to which it reflects the color. As the epidermis or outer skin is alike clear in very different creature. Watch this. And experience, which is the best medium to discover truth, gives the true cause why this corpus mucosum or glueth web is red in the Indians and white in us. You see, family? Again, he's defining us not that different. That we're not that different than them. Very awkward, right? But he definitely is saying that they relate more to the way we look than they relate more to the way compared to blacks, so-called Africans. Here, it's clearly showing that there's a distinction between natives of these lands, the original people, culomiados. Hit the link because I know you may be watching. I know you're scared. Or anybody. Prove me wrong. I stand ground on this, man. And experience, which is the best medium to discover truth, gives the true cause why this corpus mucosum or glued web is red in the Indians and white in us. The parching winds and hot sunbeams beating upon their naked bodies in various gradations of life necessarily tarnish their skin with the tawny red color. Tawny, you see that? And to this, they're constant anointing themselves with bear's oil. Oh my God. They're constant anointing themselves with bear's oil or grease mixed with a certain red shoot. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. Hawaiian and lotion. So I used to buy something like this back in the day, man. Like this, something like here, like not this one. It was more like the oil one, the clear one, like Hawaiian, whatever. Every summer, man. Every summer, right? Some browning type of, suntan, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about brown lotion. That's more lotion. But like actual suntan lotion right there. Hawaiian breezing tan lotion, something like that, right? And then I would use, what's it called? Iodine. I think so, something like that. Iodine, liquid. Something like, what's an iodine? It was not, I don't know what chemical it was, family. It was like what they use at the hospitals to cure the cuts. Yeah, bear grease makes you dark. Yeah. So what I would do is I would mix like this kind of, not this particular brand, like a different type of brand, right? And I would use like whatever that use at the hospital for cuts. Like it's kind of brown. Brown hospital liquid for cuts. This one right here. I think it was that. So I would mix like this type of color. I'm being serious, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a teenager, man. Teenager. Just think of ways to try to be creative. No, that wasn't it. That's not peroxide. This right here. There it goes right there. 8 iodine. That's it. That's what I would do. So I would mix this with oil. And it would create like a darker oil. So when I would put it, it would kind of like give me that glow, so to speak, right? Well, that's what it's talking about here. It says here, that add to this, they're constant anointing themselves with bear oil or grease mixed with a certain red shoot, right? So the oil would always make them tan already, but then they would like the redness in them, which by a peculiar property is able alone in a few years' time to produce the Indian color in those who are white born. Man, I should just stop right here. You know what I mean, family? The Nazca pottery of ancient Peru also had an image of the light-skinned people, but no Negro pottery. The Nazca pottery, right? Let me see it. Is that the one I'm talking about? The Nazca pottery? The Nazca pottery of Peru. Oh, yeah, that's right. Look, here it goes right here. Look, fam. Bam! Fire! Woo! Look at this, family. Look at that. I mean, come on, man. Look at that, fam. Wow. Hey, I don't trust Pinterest, man. I don't like that. I don't trust Pinterest, bro. I really don't. I try to stay away from that. I kid you not, family. Pinterest is evil. They be putting like pictures of women in there to purposely mislead you. Look at this pottery. Look at this pottery right there. Bam. Look at this right there. Look at that individual. You see his mouth right there? Hold on a second. This one right here. Right there. That one. Get off, Isaac. Get off, Isaac. That right there. Look at that. Whoa, my bad. Right there. You see that face? You see he's kind of like a brownish right here in the lips and then light skin right there in the nose. You see what I'm saying, family? You see what I'm talking about, man? Don't believe the hype. Don't fall for the trick. And you wobbles, you guys are really going to regret what you're doing. Because that is the saddest shit for y'all to do, man. You guys are really trying to take something that does not belong to you. Listen, if you are from this land, hey, all glory to Yahoo. I get it, man. But if you're not, quit trying to steal a culture. Look at this right here. What about all these things? Are these not relevant? You're only going by pictures. Oh, you did? You're only going by pictures. Oh, there it goes right here. Thank you, bro. You're only going by pictures, and you're not, considering. You're not even considering your own heritage, which if you just look at it from a perspective, it's very rich. I don't understand why it's not relevant to you guys. You don't want to be who you are, and that's really sad because your own people are like, man, they're like, man, I don't understand this. What is so sad about just being you? What is so wrong about that? I mean, if you're not, let's say, for example, Canaan let's say Canaan, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let's say Canaan, for example. Okay. Let's just say, for the sake of you, let's say they do call you Canaan. And let's say the Bible ain't real. So what was that about? I don't know why you overlook this. This is ancient pottery right here. Why does this not matter to you? Hold on, family. Why is it not picking it up, man? That's weird. It's starting to really bother me. Oh, I think I know why. Okay, here it goes. So you see this? This is ancient pottery. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Look at that right there. Look at that sister of ours. Why are you looking not at actual pottery? You go to like a couple stones of some African, so-called African looking dude, but you know what? Those people look Samoan as well. Oh, and also Samoans have woolly hair. So are they Ishayahu? I'm trying to stay away from that terminology, family. I'm really, really trying my best to do as best as I can for the understanding. As you can see, there's absolutely no doubt of who you are. Look, and it says here, let's go ahead. And to add this, they're constant anointing themselves with bear oil or grease mixed with a certain red shoot, which by a particular property is able alone in a few years in time to produce the Indian color of those who were white born and who have ever advanced in maturity. These metamorphoses I have often seen. Check this out. At the Shawano main camp, I saw a Pennsylvanian, a white man by birth, in the profession of a Christian, who by his clemency of the sun, right, and his endeavors of improving the red color, was tarnished with as deep Indian hue as any of the count, though they had been in the woods only the space of 4 years. So we may easily conclude then what a fixed change of color, such as a constant method of life, would produce. For the color being once thoroughly established, nature would, as it were, forget herself, not to beget her own likeness. You see, family? So all you guys are talking is, you guys are talking with imagination and inconsistencies. Your entire doctrine is full of inconsistencies, and you are bringing false report, and you're literally causing your own head to be judged, not by us, absolutely not by us. So now let's watch this here, and let's begin.
Indigenous people to the Americas. This is
Let's
what
listen
they
to
look
this,
like.
the Kulo
We're gonna
Matter.
begin. For example, just reading from a couple of sources that we've gone over before we go ahead and show that video.
So here he's using supposedly one source. This is what he says. Let's see. I'll put it this way. Supposedly, they want to look like Adama. That's exactly it, bro. That's exactly it. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, are we saying that this sister isn't our sister? No, not at all. Matter of fact, if you look at my nieces, like on my brother Chato side, like my oldest brother, his daughters, his great granddaughter, his daughter's daughter, my niece Susana, her daughter Angelica, is exactly like this family. I wish I could, if I was allowed to show you a picture of her, I would. But this is exactly what she looks like. And I'm not, listen, let the Most High strike me right now if I'm lying to you. I'm not. But you see, here's the funny part. We find in America white, tawny, brown, yellow, olive, copper, and even black nations as in Africa. This is in 18-something. James Adair was not in 18-something. He was in 1700. And he walked with these people. And they saw that these people were tawny, brown, yellow, olive color, and even black. Because why? Because of their constant use of grease and red shoot. Also, dwarfs and giants, family. Handsome and ugly features, flat and equiline noses, thick and thin lips. Oh, really? So you had thin lips. Oh, for real? Okay. Well, now I was looking for this page, and I don't know what book this is, fam. I wish. I kid you not. I will look for it. I promise. But let's kill that narrative right now. Okay. This is an old book, as you can see, page 5. The natives I shall consider in their persons, language and manners, religion and government, with my sense of their original. For their persons, they are generally tall, straight, well built, and of singular proportion. Now, let me tell you something, family. My brother is 6 foot, 6'1", okay? I'm the shortest one out of my family. My dad was 5'11". My nieces on my brother's side, they're 5'9". I don't come from a short family, okay? The average of my family is 5'10" and up. And the women are about 5'7". My daughter is like 5'6", I think, maybe. They're not little 5'5s or 5'1s. My son is 11 and he's almost my height. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. So again, let me. And by the way, my nieces and my daughter, they're very slender, long arms, tall, kind of like supposedly model types. For real, I'm not lying. So let's read it again. For their persons are generally tall, straight, well built, and of singular proportions. Now I'm about 5'9". I'm about, I don't know, 185. But I got solid trunks, man. I got solid, like my lower part of my body is very thick. I got thick legs, like 15-inch calves, and I don't know how thick my thighs are now, but that's the kind of person I'm built. I got like big bones, man, especially in like my body, except in like my forearms. It's kind of weird. But again, I come from a variety of family. Like my brother Chato is like that, but my brother Miguel, he's slender and tall as well. Oh, now it goes here. Here it goes. Mostly, I'm sorry, let me go. Tall, straight, and well built, of singular proportion. They thread strong and clever, and mostly walk with a lofty chin. Of complexion, black, but by design. I thought I did. Yeah, you had to. Wait, what happened? What? I've seen that video before, and I ended getting a headache from his confusion. Yeah, of course, bro. So check this out. And again, it says here of complexion black, but by design. Why? As the gypsies in England. Why? They greased themselves with bear fat, clarified, and using no defense against sun or weather. Their skins must needs be swarthy, or else you obviously, can't last out there working. Their eyes are little, as their eyes is little and black, not unlike a straight, not unlike a straight-looked Jew. The thick-lipped and flat nose, so frequent with the East Indians and blacks, are not common to them. So it just literally says that the natives in this land did not have flat noses nor fat, thick lips. Native Indians and Africans were always different. Newspaper article shows this because it comes from atrocities against whites. They do the best to expose their enemies. Sent you picture. Let me see. Then it says here, their eyes are little and black, not unlike a straight look Jew. The thick lip and flat nose, so frequent with the East Indian and blacks, are not common to them. For I have seen as comely European-like faces among them both. Explain that. Explain that to me, please. Somebody explain that to me. I don't know. Do we have a wobble here? Is anybody here that, listen, I will totally respect you. I will not attack you, I promise. If you really believe this, come with respect and let's talk. And let me understand exactly what it is that maybe we're not seeing. Maybe we are the problem. But without any questions, without any answers, without your confronting somebody like us, not these fake fools that don't know anything about scripture or our history, but actual brothers that they do, not for a narrative. Hit the link, explain to us, because inquiring minds need to know. Let me see this real quick. Hold on a second. Let me check this out. Let's see what this is. Hold on, family. So this is what the brother sent me right now. Let me see what it is. Hold on. Let me read it again. It says, Native Indians and Africans were always different. Okay, here it goes. So we see massacre of whites by Indians and blacks in Florida. Massacre of whites by the Indians and blacks in Florida. Even historically, they separate us. Look at that. Even historically. Are you telling me that they would make this up? Even at that time? You could see the difference between them and us. You see that? Do you see the afro? No afro. What are you gonna say? These are dreads? You gonna say these are dreads? So are you gonna say they look this? If you look the same, you the white man wouldn't tell you look different. He wouldn't do that. It was a newspaper article. Then it says here, I've seen some as comely European-like faces, among them as both, meaning men and women, as on your side to see. And truly, an Italian complexion had not much more of the whites, and the nose of several of them have as much of the Roman. You see this, family? Their language is lofty, yet narrow, but like Hebrew. And signification full, like shorthand in writing. One word served in place of three, and that still happens in our spirit. You can say, hey, ¿qué onda, güey? No seas güey. And ay, güey. Those are three different meanings. Like, are you coming over right now? That's responding right now with a question. Right now? Meaning later? It says, imperfect in their tense, wanting in their moods, and principle in adverse conjunctions. I have made it my business to understand it. And in my not want an interpreter on an occasion, and I must lay that I know not a language spoken in Europe that had words of more sweetness and of greatness in accent and emphasis than theirs. That's why they want your heritage. So let's continue to skip this. I'm not going to let them talk. A little briefly, because it does hurt my head too. Let's go.
A section I took closed in of South America. All right, and this is what it's showing. All right, this is what it's showing right here. So when you're about to see some rare footage of him going into these jungle villages in South America, the Europeans. But
oh, are you going? Hold on. So that's the point. So he's saying, he's setting it up because his video is about that somebody's gonna go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let him talk. Okay, family, we're gonna have to listen to this idiot talk anyways, man. Yeah, I called him that. Tell him I said that. Tell him I said that, please. Because what he's doing right now, he's gonna set up the video. Okay, so let's continue.
Research it from 1519. This is just a part of it, a section I took closed in of South America. All right, and this is what it's showing. All right, this is what it's showing right here. So when you're about to see some rare footage of him going into these jungle villages in South America, you're gonna see what these people look like. All right, just like this person right here in this map that they drew. All right, just like these people they drew here. Some with the long hair, some with the short hair. And again, Webster's Dictionary, 1828, American.
All right, so we read that before. Now, again, what did the book say that they love to bring out? That we had a variety of colors. These are not pictures originally. These are pictures from people that weren't even here. Why do you say copper color, dumbass? Yet it says tawny, white, that they actually work under tan. Because they worked in the sun. Why do you leave that out? Wobbles, why do you leave that out? Wobbles is wannabe aboriginals, meaning black people, okay, Africans, so-called, from West Africa, the real Canaanites of the scriptures, are trying to be you. And you got this idiot, this Ashkenazi bastard, okay, who his daddy is Italian, who is teaching them this nonsense. And we know you're in Costa Rica, cabron. Oh, yeah. We're going to be there soon. Now, he's talking this nonsense. But let's continue, because he's setting up the video. Okay, let's go.
A native of America originally applied to the aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America.
See? Of European descendants born in America. Yet, it's very clear through our pottery and what these writers have said that we came in a variety of mixture. But let's continue, family. I love this showing you piece by piece. Look, there's 11 people watching. Or 13, whatever. Hit the link and share, please. But I don't think all of you guys are literally like on this side of us listening to us because you care. I think a lot of you guys are enemies. And you're just afraid to hit the link. At least that's what I think. Because you know, so far, I haven't proved anything incorrect. I've gone to your books. I've gone to your material. And still, to this day, you don't hit the link. I don't understand why. I mean, like I said it before, prove us wrong. And I'll be nice to you. If you really are respectful and sincere, I'll be nice to you, man. So, I mean, I don't understand why this is so impossible that you claim something, but yet, when you have somebody that actually understands what's going on, you don't want to explain that to us. Let's continue, family. We're gonna debunk this idiot. And you wobbles, don't go posting stuff after the class ends and ignore what this class is about. Let's continue.
All right, copper-colored tribes of America. That's from the 1828 Webster's Dictionary for the word American. Do you understand? We got the emblem of America. If you Google the emblem of America, it's in the British Museum. You'll see this, Queen Khalifa, right over here. This is what you get, emblem of America. This is what you get. Gotta break the spells. We're going over the basics here. For all the new people, copper-colored tribes 101. Come on. Again, these are all from paint.
You see, the same old paintings without using pottery. Same old shit. Maya portrayed scenes of courts of the kings, sights of magnificent, plays, drinking, blah, blah, blah. Late classic of 800 AD, two-seated dignities, morning star, blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff, right? Let's continue, family. He's setting up the video, but let's go.
Paintings and codices of the Mayas, vases, pottery, are to be seen outside tobacco shops on the.
Okay, so that right there, that right there, as you know where you get that from, okay? So now, he's using material from where? The history of signboards. Jacob Larwood. What year is this? Blackamoors. Oh, so now they're blackamoors? But haven't we read that back in the day, blackamoors? So what's your point? Blackamoors and other dark-skinned foreigners have always possessed considerable attractions to the signs of tobaccos, and sometimes also public houses. Negroes with feathered headdresses and kilts. So, earlier you said Moors, right?
The continent. Get the full video.
Here goes the man, a monthly record of anthropologists. Negro skeleton remains from Indian sites in the West Indies. Negro Fiji type inhabited the Virgin Islands in pre-Columbian time. Really? It says here, say Negro instead of Negroid. Negroid type? Then it says Negro, then it said, in support of the opinion of these authors describing Negroes, I wish to present a similar case from Barbados. Let's see. Michelle Mensa believes that the skeleton to be that of the Arakan Indian, and in 1937 presented it with much U.S. national whatever. It felt justified in calling it a Negro for reasons that will appear from the following description. These are all new cases. But yet, so he shows only this one. Look at their hands. What about their hands, dummy? Now, I know you darkened this too, because if I could get it the original, I bet you it's not even that dark. But let's continue.
More vases over here. On the other.
That's why he does this, because he gets money. Dummies. You guys believe in stupidity. That says a peculiar physiology of the Indian, which has undeniably characteristic as that of the Negro. Okay, so undeniably characteristic. Okay, let's look up that word, because you want to know something. This is where they trick people. So let me type it in real quick. Undeniably. Hold on a second. Undeviatingly meaning. So I didn't spell it right, but let me correct it. It says here, undeviating, showing no deviation, constant and steady. Okay, so that's what that word means. So let's read it from the top. I'm interested in this. Let's see what it really means. Let's break this down. Because remember again, family, we know. By the way, this doesn't make you an African, stupid ass. And here we understand of the mixture already, because it did take both you Africans and so-called Europeans to conquer this nation, especially after we went through the decimation of a damn smallpox that Africans brought to us. Okay, that's just a fact. So let's read this. It says here, from the distinctive characteristics of the Aboriginal race. Okay, Samuel George Morton, and I think I read this book, and I wonder if that's no. Okay, let me read it. It cannot be questioned that the physical diversities. Hold on. Let me hold on. Give me a second. Hold on, right? Give me a second. Let me see if I have this book. Aboriginal. Oh, yes, I do, sucker. Oh, yes, I do. I do have this book. Oh, man, this is beautiful. Okay, let's continue. In this book here, It's called The Distinctive Characteristics of the Aboriginal Race. Let me see if I could send it to myself real quick so you can see I'm not lying. I don't hide nothing, family. We got nothing to hide, man. We have nothing, absolutely nothing to hide. Okay, let's read it. It cannot be questioned that the physical diversities do occur, equally singular and inexplicable, as seen in different shades of color, varying from a fair tint to a complexion almost black. And this too under circumstances in which climate can have little or no influence. So also is reference to stature. The differences are remarkable in the entire tribes, which moreover are geographically proximate to each other. So listen to this. So also is reference to the stature. The differences are remarkable in entire tribes, which moreover are geographically proximate to each other. These facts, however, are mere exceptions to a general rule and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is as undeviantly characteristic as that of the Negro. Okay, meaning that showing no deviation or constant study. Here's why. For whether we see him in the athletic Carib or the stunt Kaima, in the dark California or the fair Baroa, he is an Indian still and cannot be mistaken for any being of any other race. What the fuck are you reading, Culomarios? What are you guys reading? Do you not understand what this means? I mean, are you guys this dumb? And I'm sorry if I'm not getting mad, but it just makes no sense to me, family. What he's literally saying is this, that this fact, however, is mere exception in the rule and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is one, which is an undivinely characteristic as that of the Negro, which is another. Because as the Negro doesn't change, neither does the Indian. What are you guys reading? For whether we see him in the athletic Carib or the stunned Kaima, in a dark Californian or fair Borao, he is an Indian still. He didn't say Negro. Gotcha, bitch. What is you? What I don't know, family. Family, please help me out here. Please help me out here. You are literally spitting in your face. So what it's telling me is that all of you who believe this guy, or whoever you guys believe that keeps pushing this nonsense, that means that your comprehension, your reading comprehension is below 75 IQ. Literally. It's really below 75. What if, I don't know, maybe. What if he's a true Canaanite slayer and he's just setting all this up to let them down? Hey, oh, man. Woo, boy. You know what? I don't want to give him too much credit, to be honest, because I don't think he is. I think he truly is doing this on purpose. I think he's just as low IQ as them. Let me read this again. These facts, however, are mere exceptions to a general rule, meaning that these okay, so let me read it again. It cannot be questioned that physical diversities do occur, equally singular and inexplicable, as seen in different shades of color, varying from a fair tint to a complexion almost black. And this too under circumstances in which climate can have little or no influence, meaning that even if you're like in a like for us, some dark skinned people, right? We're in a cold climate, but then we still have a tan. So that's what he's explaining. So also in reference to stature, the differences are remarkable in entire tribes, which moreover are geographically proximate to each other. So there's a variety of us. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about. No matter how tall we are, how short we are, whether we're dark skinned or light skinned, right? These facts, however, are mere exceptions to a general rule. Why? And do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indians. Why? Which is as undeviantly characteristics as that of a Negro. Because it's, as you can see, a lot of so-called Africans here in America experience, okay? Even if they mix with white or Native or our women or let's say Asians, whatever, you still see the Negro feature in them. For whether we see them in the athletic Carib, in the stunt Kaima, in the dark Californians of their fair barrel, he is an Indian still and cannot be mistaken as being any other race, even Negro.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Physical characteristics, as in, let me see if I have it already. Give me a second, family. Let me download this real quick so you can see. I'm not joking. I have this book. And that's just a matter of time when somebody decides to pick up the book. Let me see if I can find it. Question. This page 5. Page 5 of this book. Give me a second. Okay. It's page 5 of this book, fam. Let me see. What's it gonna do? Let me see if I can get it. Give me a second. I want to show this to you. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not the one I want. My bad. Inquiry of the Aboriginals. An inquiry of the Aboriginals. Give me a second. I'm trying to get it real fast. An inquiry into the discovery of the Aborigine. No. Let's see if it's here. Let me open it up. Maybe it'll open up here. I wonder why it doesn't want to open it. That's crazy. Sorry, let me close this window. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to open it, family. Let me see if I can get the name real quick from my book. Let's see real quick. All right, here it goes. All right, I have it here. The distinctive. An inquiry. I'm sorry. An inquiry into I can find it. Here it goes right there. I think it's this one. That's it. So he's on page 5 right now, right? Let's see. Yeah. It cannot be questioned that the physical diversities occur singular and inexplicable. Yeah, that's it. Okay, he's on page 5 right here. Okay. So this is the book that he's actually reading. So let's read this here on the right side, on the left side. Let's see what he's talking about. Physical characteristics. It is an adage among travelers that he who has seen one tribe of Indians has seen them all. So much to the individuals of this race resemble each other, notwithstanding their immense geographical distribution and those differences of climate which embrace the extremes heat and cold. You see, meaning like as we read before, that as the dark skin or light skin, right, hot or cold, they tend not to be too different from each other. You know, they tend to keep the same characteristics. It says here, and those differences of climate which embrace the extremes of heat and cold. Heat and cold. The half-clad Fuegian shrinkens from his dreary winter has the same characteristic lineament, though as an exaggerated degree, as the Indian of the tropical plains. And these again resemble the tribes which inhabit the region west of the Rocky Mountains, those of the Great Valley of the Mississippi, and those again which skirt the Eskimos on the north. All possess alike long, lank, black hair, the brown and cinnamon colored skin, heavy brow, the dull and sleepy eye, the full and compressed lips, and the salient but dilated nose. So what does this mean? Salient and dilated nose. So what does salient mean? Salient means most noticeable, and dilated. What is dilated? Most noticeable, dilated. Expanded, literally flat or widespread, meaning a big mouth. That's all he meant. That's what it meant. It was just a big mouth. Que it's una boca, like un bocón, güey. Like some of us have, like, gente. Widen. Not fat lip, just widened. What are you talking about? Where is this reading great comprehension of yours? And the only thing you focus on is brown and cinnamon? What are you, blind? I mean, at what point are we going to continue to embrace the stupidity, family? Here, I'm going to use your thumb right now. Oh, hold on. I got to use this. Okay, at what point? Let's continue.
Peculiar physiognomy of the Indian. What is that? America, we're about to see.
Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Remember, this is an 1800 book here. We already have read prior books that explain a lot of things. We also know that it was Africans who came with the Spaniards to help conquer this nation of people. We know that. American anthropology will teach that there were men of all sizes, features, and complexions in this hemisphere before 1492, notwithstanding the false assertions of many writers. Really? Who take one nation of the whole people American group. The Huskies, the Peruvias, and the Pirias, and the Chans were as white as the Spaniards. 50 such tribes were found in South America, while many Caribs of the Choco, the Manibas, and Uraras were as black as Negroes. I mean, just dark skin, dumbass. Capri and Scattered River were as black as Negroes. So even in your own, and by the way, this is not the same page here, okay? This is a different page right here. Because you're literally contradicting what you're just saying. These are two pages here, family. Okay, so let's continue. All he's doing is just putting his foot in his mouth. 1850. But as is in America, the last discovered by civilization, where we find the stronghold of the colored race. From the land of the fire, on the ice-bound polar sea, the nature had darkened every race unmistakably. Nor had the Eskimo or circumpolar race escaped the colorization. See? What are you reading, man? It's just saying that people got dark, that it didn't get away from nobody. But let's continue, because his whole concept is, oh, this video, and this video, and this video. So let's listen to this video and see what he's talking about, okay? Let's go.
Deep in the jungles of French Guiana, Mr. Herman Jessen, the Amazon trader, makes his way up the Moroni River, aided by friendly natives. His object? To trade small manufactured goods with the primitive Indians along its banks.
Indians, not African runaways. Okay, hold on.
For their spears, baskets, and primitive artifacts. His expedition must cut its way through the dense jungle overgrowth, and often has to eat only what nature provides. And now, here's the man you saw in the film earlier, Mr. Herman Jessen.
The Amazon jungles and the other half.
First trip into this area?
No, into this area it's my second trip, but I've made 25 trips into South America so far, and I expect to leave very shortly on another one.
Well, where are you from originally?
I was born in Europe, but now I am engaged in the import-export business, and I spend about half of my time down in the Amazon jungles and the other half of my time here in Los Angeles.
YouTube is the new home of NFL.
We're all anxious to see what being an Amazon trader really means, so let's start now.
We start in the town of Saint-Laurent-du-Maroni in French Guiana on the Moroni River. This river divides Dutch Guiana from French Guiana, and the native quarters house these beautiful canoes in which the natives use. Two of the men who made this trip with me, my companions, on a long journey trading with the natives of this region. The things that I used for...
See how he's saying the natives and he's only showing these people here? okay? So-called Africans. Okay, let's continue.
Canoes and which the natives use. Two of the men who made this trip with me, my companions, on a long journey trading with the natives of this region. The things that I used for trading with these people are mirrors, fish hooks, beads, flashlights, also tobacco and salt and sugar that the natives can use. I'm trading a knife for a comb and a basket for beads. Our boat was 50 foot long and 4 feet wide, and there were 4 of us going on this long trip up the Moroni River. We are leaving the town and passing by the native quarters, and we are on our way to Mukumak Mountains and trading with the natives of the region.
How long a river trip will this be, Mr. Jessen?
It's about 2 months' trip, John.
And how long will it be in terms of miles?
It's about 500 miles each way. We are getting our guns ready as we are living off the land. You'll see that later. This little boy is one of the sons of the Bushmen, and I gave him a piece of chewing gum, and that's
Called him a bushman, remember?
what he did with it. He couldn't figure it out. Pole our way into this native Boni Bushman village. This is the harbor, and here are some of the typical canoes. Tutu presenting me to the chief, Grand Tifu, who is a very gentle chief, governing these bush people totally. And he really dressed up the next day in my honor in this French naval officer's uniform with his wife, and I undressed in his honor in the native garb of the region.
Very incongruous, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This boy is making an oar for me, which I traded with him for a knife. And a girl is winnowing rice. In another part of the village, we see one of the girls fixing the hair of a lady chief of the village. This is another little baby of Tutu. And the paddle I'm trading here with these bushmen. One of the native girls brought us some fruits, and we are trading it for this empty oil tank. Shoving off on our way now to the next bony village of Assisi. And you see the way these boys are built with their shoulders and muscles, that they really are good for this type of work.
Yeah, very stocky people, Mr. Jessen.
Oh yes, they're very healthy, and they're really children of nature. The language is taki-taki. It's a language of about 300 words. I learned to respect these people. I never lost anything. On the whole trip, everything was kept in order. And as I came to these villages, they all brought me gifts and eggs and rice, and I was really treated royally going up there. The town of Assisi, the second Boni village, here's a bakery. You see, these people are very primitive, but still in all, they have high moral quality. They don't know hate, they don't know jealousy and envy. These people were very much interested in trading with me, and of course, dancing and making friends came first. It's kind of a combination of cha-cha-cha and merengue. You hear these rattles now. The little ones get into the act, and this one to the right is the son of the chief. We leave this little town of Assisi, and we are hitting some very fierce rapids now. The Oyana Indians are the Indians who live further up the river, and they have long hair, men and women alike, and we are trying to see whether we can get permission to get up further into that country and have them guide us. I love to do as they do, and I think the best way to go into these native places is to dress just the way they do, and they feel very much at home when you approach them in that respect. We are now starting to trade with the natives. First making friends and then trading. To have any satisfaction from the deal, because Tutu doesn't seem to be happy about the deal, neither does the chief's wife. And we gave her some food, and that calmed her down. Lipo is the Indian boy who guided us all the way across these mountains and up the river, across to Mukumak Mountain.
See, he called him the little Indian boy. Okay, let's continue though. That's as much as he shows, but let's continue. Because now you're like, what? But he's mostly showing Africans. Let's continue.
And back to the Indian villages. He was a fine boy, about 16 years old, and very nice and very trustworthy. We needed this Indian boy to go along with us to help, in as much as he was the only one that had ever been up that stream. The native way of drinking. I paid these bushmen in French money, and the Indian boy I paid in beads at the end.
Hear that? I paid these bushmen in French money, and the Indian boy, I paid him beads. So he differentiates, but then he cuts it off. Watch this. I have the original. Let's continue.
The trip. It's only 1 month out of the year that one can go up that river, because it's either too high or too low, and it's just in July of each year that the river is at the right height where it can be penetrated way up to its source. Now this is Aloike, one of the most interesting Indian villages in which I ever visited. John, the town of Aloike is the largest and the most colorful of the Indian villages up this river, and you see the French flag flying. The chief's house is airy and comfortable, and the women chop the wood to make a brew. It's a type of masato drink, is a combination of river water and corn. They dilute the masticated corn and bring it to a boiling point, and this is used as their drink during the dancing celebration which goes on at this time yearly.
This has been an incredible journey, Mr. Jessup.
Yes, you see, we have to hack our way through. Everything is done by hand. We had no saw along. We had to use an axe all the time.
And here...
We changed off, and in this heat, it was just terrible. When it wasn't raining, the heat was beating down on us. It's infested with piranhas, and the bushman advised me not to swim in this water. You see, the Indian boy is a good boatman. Tutu is not only a good boatsman, he's also a wonderful fisherman. And when we weren't hunting up there, we were fishing. There was plenty of game. There was no noise of the motor to disturb the animals, and we had so much game that we sometimes quit hunting and fishing and just tried to make headway as fast as we could. Here's the other boy jumping into the water to get our lunch out. This was a lunch for the day.
Wonderful catch.
Yes, it was a big fish. We're back in the town of Saint Laurent. We are unloading all the artifacts which traded with these natives, and to bring these back to the States now. We're all safe and sound. Nobody was killed or hurt, and it was a very successful trading expedition. The boys are helping me carry all the items and my equipment back to the starting point.
Mr. Jensen, your films represent a wonderful experience, but I know if I were you, I'd be doubly glad to be back to civilization. You must have had some pretty close brushes with real danger in your expeditions.
Yes, I did. For instance, in this expedition, I fell ill with malaria. Fortunately, it did not strike me until I...
You've lost some other adventures.
So that's what Culo Miado says all the time. And he's like, they're kind of lady guys. Again, thou shalt not bear false reports. So I'm going to show you this because this actually came from a sister of ours. And this is the brother that I'm introducing. I apologize, bro. I hope you don't mind. It says here, Afrocentric wobbles, race hustlers, radical identity cults are using the altered version of this video to claim that African-looking individuals were what in 1950s French Guiana considered to be the original black aboriginals of America. This rare video was being shared in an Afrocentric and pro-black websites and social media with an altered version where they make it seem that the narrator of this 1950 video was describing these black African-looking people as indigenous Americans. But here we have the original video in a correction to this misleading narrative. They cropped out the word Africa out of the audio, presenting the Bushmen of French Guiana as indigenous. Bushmen, people of African descent. Indians, the ones who wobble Afrocentrics argue about being black and wanting to be black, wash their identity. Okay? Then it says here, you know, search the YouTube, the altered version, blah, blah, blah. So here goes the real quick ones, and I'm going to show you the long version, okay? Let's continue.
Of the Bushman.
So remember, this is the Bushman, all right? The Indian version Bushman. So now he's talking about two different people. So I'm going to play it here. Watch this real quick. Let's go.
Of the Bushman, and I gave him a piece of chewing gum, and that's what he did with it. He couldn't figure it out. To pole our way into this native bony Bushman village. This is the harbor, and here are some of the typical canoes with African design.
What? With what? With African design. Why'd you leave that out, Culomiados? Hey, Culomiados, why'd you leave that out? Wabos, are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. I know. Could you imagine being called a speaking wetback growing up? You know why I don't like some of these people? Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Let's continue.
Fierce rapids now. We are getting ready for the Indian villages, which are further up. But here are the first.
You see, he didn't share that. Let's continue.
Indians which we met. We are getting ready for the Indian villages, which are further up. But here are the first Indians which we met. But here are the first Indians which we met. The Oyana Indians are the Indians who live further up the river, and they have.
See how he said it often? And Culomiados did block that out. He cut that out. You wobbles are in for a rude awakening, just like these BHIs. Y'all are in for a rude awakening. Let's continue.
Long hair men and women alike, and we are trying to see whether we can get permission to get up further into that country and have. I love to do as they do, and I think the best way to go into these native places is to dress just the way they do, and they feel very much at home when you approach them in that respect. We are now starting to trade with the natives. Lipo is the Indian boy who guided us all the way across these mountains and up the river, across the Tumucumac Mountains and back to the Indian villages. He was a fine boy.
You see how many so far he said Indian 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. Let's continue.
About 16 years old and very nice and very trustworthy. We needed this Indian boy to go along with us to help, in as much as he was the only one that had ever been up that stream. The native way of drinking. I paid these bushmen in French money, and the Indian boy I paid in beads.
6.
I paid these bushmen in French money, and the Indian boy I paid in beads at the end of the trip. It's only
Bushman
presenting me to the chief Grand Tifu, who is a very gentle chief, governing these bush people totally. For this empty oil can, African culture prevailed completely.
Whoa! Wait. But Culomiados didn't show that. Culomiados did not show that. He instead said, oh, no, let's cut that out. Let's keep confusing you Africans. Let's go.
In every respect. And, of course, dancing and making friends came first. It's kind of a combination of cha-cha-cha and merengue. You hear these rattles now. It's just like Africa, John. The language.
Just like Africa. Why the Culomiados? Culomiados left that out.
Language and their customs and their music is all imported from Africa, and they're pure Africans.
Far forward. Tally calling them Africans, Bushmen, and Native Indians.
They're very proud of their racial background. Even the children have full command of this African rhythm.
You see? Why the Culomiados leave that out? African tally, 5. Let's continue.
The most interesting Indian villages in which I ever visited.
7.
John, the town of Aloike is the largest and the most colorful of the Indian villages up this river, and you see the French
8.
flag flying. The chief's house is airy and comfortable, and the women.
The video repeatedly identifies the Bushmen as people of the African race. This pseudo deliberately lied to mislead thousands of you guys. So now we're going to see the original. It's 10 minutes long, but we got to see it, family, okay? Let's debunk the funk, man, because you guys starting to stink. That's how dumb you guys are, and I'm thankful for it. You know why? Because it took somebody like not the most noble, not the most wise. No. The most weak. The least expected. Let's go. This is the original. Here, I'm gonna hit them on. Let me share it with y'all, so you guys can see that I didn't make this up. This is the original. But let's watch it together, okay? We're burning time, family. Let's continue, man. We're trying to get away from these damn heathenish ways, right? So, let's keep our mind at bay, and let's kind of continue sticking around, and then call it a night. Let's go.
Films of tonight's bold journey is John Stevenson. Deep in the jungles of French Guiana, Mr. Herman Jessen, the Amazon trader, makes his way up the Moroni River, aided by friendly natives. His object? To trade small manufactured goods with the primitive Indians along its banks for their spears, baskets, and primitive artifacts. His expedition must cut its way through the dense jungle overgrowth and often has to eat only what nature provides. And now, here's the man you saw in the film earlier, Mr. Herman Jessen. We're proud to have you with us, Mr. Jessen.
Thank you, John.
I'd like to ask, first of all, sir, how remote are these Indians from civilization?
These Indians live about 250 miles up the Moroni River. It's very hard to get up there because the rains endanger any trip, and the river is either too low or too high. It's just in July that one can penetrate into those villages.
Now, was this your first trip into this area?
No, into this area it's my second trip, but I've made 25 trips into South America so far, and I expect to leave very shortly on another one.
Well, where are you from originally?
I was born in Europe, but now I am engaged in the import-export business, and I spend about half of my time down in the Amazon jungles and the other half of my time here in Los Angeles.
Well, we're all anxious to see what being an Amazon trader really means, so let's...
Trading with the natives of this region. This river divides Dutch Guiana from French Guiana, and the native quarters house these beautiful canoes of African design which the natives use. Two of the men who made this trip with me, my companions, on a long journey trading with the natives of this region. The things that I use for trading with these people are mirrors, fish hooks, beads, flashlights, also tobacco and salt and sugar that the natives can use. I'm trading a knife for a comb and a basket for beads. Our boat was 50 foot long and 4 feet wide, and there were 4 of us going on this long trip up the Moroni River. We're leaving the town and passing by the native quarters, and we are on our way to Mukumak Mountains and trading with the natives of the region.
How long a river trip will this be, Mr. Jessen?
It's about 2 months' trip, John.
And how long will it be in terms of miles?
It's about 500 miles each way. We're getting our guns ready as we are living off the land. You'll see that later. This little boy is one of the sons of the Bushmen, and I gave him a piece of chewing gum, and that's what he did with it. He couldn't figure it out. To pole our way into this native Boni Bushman village. This is the harbor, and here are some of the typical canoes with African design. Tutu presenting me to the chief,
African design,
Montifu, who is a very gentle chief, governing these bush people totally. And he really dressed up the next day in my honor in this French naval officer's uniform with his wife, and I undressed in his honor in the native garb of the region.
Pretty incongruous, isn't it?
Oh, yes. This boy is making an oar for me, which I traded with him for a knife. And the girl is winnowing rice. In another part of the village, we see one of the girls fixing the hair of a lady chief of the village. This is another little baby of Tutu, and the paddle I'm trading here with these bushmen. One of the native girls brought us some fruits, and we are trading it for this empty oil can. African culture prevails completely in every respect. Shoving off on our way.
Hey, let me just say something real quick, okay? I'm going to tell you something for you guys that are thinking that this is more of a pro-black against or pro-white against. What y'all need to, get rid of that fucking narrative, man, straight up. Because this isn't about, well, more you white or more you black. The reason I'm bringing these informations out is to consider what's going on and the separation that needs to be done. Now, when I came to this country, I was treated like shit by all nations. And you know who called me a beaner, wetback, and spick before the whitey did? Other nations. I was treated literally like a spick when I came here from everybody that wasn't from where I'm from. So before we go on and say, oh, it was more of this whitey that gave me racism, more of the black. No, I had no problems with most nations. Not at all. I don't come from I had a bad experience with. No, I did not at all. But I do have a fighter spirit, and I hate bullies. So when I see people attacking my gente, ripping their history from them, and it's not quote unquote whitey on this level or this platform, then I don't really need to continue that fight because I already know what whitey's about. What blackity black's here? Why is it now such a pain to bring this out? If it was just all about white people, but trust me, believe I would do it too. But you guys got to open your minds. Psalms 83 is not just about one nation of people. And we know who came here first. And you can't take that history away from them. Let's continue.
Now to the next bony village of Assisi. And you see the way these boys are built with their shoulders. And
you see what I'm saying, Scatter, bro? Like, now I'm starting to wonder, like, what's the deal here? So, do you believe in the 12-type chart? Because it was actually an African-American so-called child, the kids that were calling me wetback and spick, that called my mom a wetback, a fucking wetback. That's what they said. Look at so-and-so with his wetback mom. Look at that beaner with his wetback mom. That's exactly what they told me. It wasn't a weddle. He was hanging out with so-called Puerto Ricans. We all have different experiences, man. If you guys are coming in from that 12-type spirit, bro, you're in the wrong place. That's what matters the most. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Leviticus 20:26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I am For I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. That is the point. So by you saying, oh, well, I didn't get treated bad from some people. So when you mean whitey, let me just call you out right now, Scattered. What do you mean, bro? I have a nephew that looks like a whitey. My brother-in-law, he's Boricua. He's light-skinned. His brother's dark-skinned. But my nephew looks straight white. My sister is light-skinned. So what about that? They're the main leaders, man. They're the main leaders. And you forgot one more. The people that like to use that star that you like to use. Because you should really look up that star, Scattered. That's not of our people. I had to call you out, man. So let's continue, though. Continue watching.
Muscle that they really are good for this type of work.
They're very stocky people, Mr. Jessen.
Oh, yes, they're very healthy, and they're really children of nature. The language is taki-taki. It's a language of about 300 words. I learned to respect these people. I never lost anything. On the whole trip, everything was kept in order. And as I came to these villages, they all brought me gifts and eggs and rice, and I was really treated royally going up there. The town of...
So funny, though. I find it interesting, man, because when you look up this information, and we know on the back end what the type of stuff that some of these so-called people that you say are not racist, you should hear what they tell our gente. Does that not matter? Because they're blatantly saying it, that you guys are Mongolians, including you. They're calling you Mongol.
See the second Boni village.
Just because they don't do it in your face, that doesn't make it any different. It makes it worse. It makes it literally worse. Oh, no, we good. Get this beaner out of here. That's really what happens. Listen, there's one thing. Look, by doing these classes, that means I do spend time researching. You know what I'm saying? I do spend time researching. And that's why I also make sure and understand that I have to be, logical and balanced at the same time. Now, I was given a specific lot with this understanding, because before it was pretty standard what we knew as history, that it was just the Güero that did what they did. But we know now that that is not. Perpetual hatred does not just come from Esau. And you can't assume that every Güero is Esau, just like I can't assume every Negro is Canaanite. And see, thank you, bro. And maybe that's where you're going off, man. Acts 7:43, yea, you take up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Rephaim, figures which ye made to worship them, I will carry you way beyond. Here, let me show you something, bro. Since you're on that topic, and I think it's good, because I never really wanted to bother you on that signal or that sign, man. But let me share some stuff with you. Hopefully it'll make sense. Maybe you can reflect on it, because you still have some searching to do. Okay? Let me just show you something. And this is all with love, bro. And again, and it's not because I'm trying to, nah, man, it's not to side. This is my lot, and this is what I'm presenting right now. Lord willing, he presents something else to me that I can show you. But this is my lot. And the time will come when maybe it'll be, Esau's time, so-called. But when you got a bunch of our gente being destroyed in these rooms, 4 years I was in these rooms. 4 years I was in these rooms, and every single time, I was always like in fear of my so-called Israel. So let me show you this real quick. It says here, la águila de Sus, la estrella de Rephaim y el sol de Tammuz. You see, this is why, bro. That image has a lot in question right now, man. Hey, this is true fact, Pedro. I have from Canaanites, Güeros, Tainos, myself. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. I remember when I came here, I didn't speak Spanish, and it was a so-called Chicano that was like pinche fucking beaner. What do you mean you don't speak Spanish? I mean, you don't speak English. That's real. So anyways, let's continue. Okay? So this is just because, again, I'm not trying to attack, bro, but there is something pending still. We all got to wash away those memories. La diosa pagana de Shabbat. La reina del Shabbat. That star is a very questionable star. La bandera pagana del dios Rephaim y Moloch. I mean, you're saying you're not all against the whitey, but you're representing the same star that the whitey pushes. ¿Acaso me trajiste sacrificios en el desierto, casa de Israel? Is Ra El. If you break it down, Isis, Ra as in Egypt, El as in Balaam. O ofreciste sacrificio a Moloch y llevaste contigo la estrella de Dios Renfaim. Again, this name is also not of our people. His name is Yahu, not Yahweh. Es un nombre askenazi que significa ya, yo soy, la marca dolorosa. So, let me get this. Amos 5 and 20 something. Amos 5 and 20 something. Give me a second real quick. Amos 5 and 20 something. Amos 5 and 20 something. Amos 5, 20. I think you said 25. Is it 25? Oh, yeah. Amos 5, 25. It's at 26. I'm sorry, 25. Ye have offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Isha. Yahoo. But ye have borne the tabernacle of Moloch, and Shion of your image is the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. There's still some understanding lacking, man. You gotta call it even. You know, I go across the board. I don't take sides. I don't just, it's just gonna be against the Esau. Man. The main characters are those three heads: the financier, the muscle, and the politician. The financier, the muscle, and the government. Just understand how that's broken down. And then you have the rest of the nations. And they're not yet causing havoc. We're not ready for them. They're not here yet in the sense where you see it blatant. It's going to start from them first. Let's continue.
Here's the bakery. You see, these people are very primitive, but still in all they have high moral quality. They don't know hate, they don't know jealousy and envy.
Am I hating them? No, man. They just said, they don't know hate, they don't know jealousy, man. That's good, bro. But they know who they are. That's the point here. Let's continue.
These people were very much interested in trading with me, and of course dancing and making friends came first. It's kind of a combination of cha-cha-cha and merengue. You hear these rattles now. It's just like Africa, John. Their language and their customs and their music is all imported from Africa, and they're pure Africans. They're very...
3 times he said that. African, pure African. But yet, Culo Miados says that they're not Africans. They're natives. Let's continue.
Proud of their racial background. The children have full command of this African rhythm. The little ones get into the act, and this one...
4 times already.
To the right is the son of the chief. We leave this little town of Assisi, and we are hitting some very fierce rapids now. We are getting ready for the Indian villages, which are further up. And here are the first Indians which we met. The Oyana Indians are the Indians who live further up the river, and they have long hair, men and women alike, and we are trying to see whether we can get permission.
You know, another thing too, though, Scattered Man, you really think Esau is only widow? Because, I mean, they mix so much. Just like Canaan. Canaan mix so much. Some Canaanites are white. Some Edomites are black. Yeah, I mean, look at Bob Marley. Why would you assume that all of a sudden it's just Esau and Whitey, man? We got to break that narrative out of our minds, because that's still that whole 12 tribe crap. It still is. So if you say you're disowning yourself in so-called West One West, but you still kind of think of their One West doctrinization, then you're still One West.
To get up further into that country and have them guide us. I love to do as they do, and I think the best way to go into these native places is to dress just the way they do, and they feel very much at home when you approach them in that respect. We are now starting to trade with the natives. First making friends and then trading. The chief's wife is doing some trading with Tutu, my head man, but they don't seem to have any satisfaction from the deal because Tutu doesn't seem to be happy about the deal, neither does the chief's wife. And we gave her some food, and that calmed her down. Lipo is the Indian boy who guided us all the way across these mountains and up the river, across the Tumukumak Mountains and back to the Indian villages. He was a fine boy, about 16 years old, and very nice and very trustworthy. We needed this Indian boy to go along with us to help in as much as he was the only one that had ever been up that stream. the native way of drinking. I paid these Bushmen in French money, and the Indian boy I paid in beef.
Of Judah, that's right. He
me see that again. Thank you, sir. You could put lipstick on a pig, but you're always going to be a pig. Okay? Always. Here's why I'm saying this, fam. So, first of all, he uses this again. This book here.
all that's in red are the Jews. Take a look. Take a listen. Take a listen.
Watch this. So this book here, as you can see, informs me that here, Negro Jews, there is another da-da-da-da, right? So this is from the book called A Lost Tribes, a Myth. A Lost Tribes, a Myth, okay? And I'm going to show you and prove to you that this is where this book comes from. So he goes and says that this book proves that there is Israel. That all, look at that, right? This demon never bothers on those days. I don't know if he does that anymore. To show anything related to you guys. No, not at all. Everything's all African, blackity black, man. There's no, I mean, it's kind of like widows and shit, but they don't tell you in your face. See, widows don't tell you in your face. They kind of do, but they don't. Okay, so check this out. Okay, you see that Sahara Desert, whatever? Here goes the same book right here. It's the same book. It's the same book, okay? See that right there? Now, he has it in color. I don't have it in color. So he's showing all of these things, right? He's gonna show you this. Yeah. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna show you something right now. It's going to. Come on, let me see. Let's see now. Let's read this though. So let's read 256, okay? Because this is from this video that he's watching. He doesn't even read 256, family. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, he doesn't read 256. It's what it says. Mr. Mayor Shapiro. Remember, like that Shapiro famous guy? Yeah, the Skenazis. Okay, the Mr. Mayor Shapiro is a second letter in a second letter informed me that he knows of the above Mount Clair congregation of the Negro Jews. There is another in Newark, New Jersey, and several in other American cities where there is a considerable Negro population. Some are the commandment keepers. You're gonna hear his name, okay? You're gonna, and this Canaanite is gonna say his name. Commandment keeper types, mingling Judaism, and Christianity, and some of the Beth Zion division holding to Orthodox Judaism. The respected leaders after the fashion of a Jewish shialach travel from one branch to another to strengthen the brethren, quote unquote, and incidentally to collect $1 per member as a weekly due, which typical BHI. Their spiritual work consists of chiefly in teaching the flock a very little Hebrew and saying with them some of the spiritual prayers and urging ceremonial observances and stated festivals. But this raises again the issue. Was not that about all that Judaism, that much of the New York, North Africa ever had?
Who are you?
what is this right here? What is this? What is this, I say? What is this, I say? Was not that about all the Judaism that much of North Africa ever had? Some young Jewish Negroes in Harlem, Jewish again, employed among the Jews, do not belong to neither of the abroad proselyte movement. Being pleased with their Jewish employer, they have chosen to take on their religion, have learned Jewish prayer, and go daily to the synagogue school of their white Jew friends. In considering the spread of Judaism by the institution of slavery, this present tendency should be remembered. These cases of proselyting among American Negroes are submitted without criticism. Their significance had already been stated. They show what was always possible in Africa. Proselyting, meaning converts, not the real people. Converts. They prove what has been done there through centuries after century. Remember Leo Africanus? I showed you that there were not many Mohammedans, Christians, or Jews. He clearly says it. At that time, they were keeping all kinds of devilish ways. Then it says here, he goes, and again, Leo Africanus, he's African. He's talking about them. I'm not saying it. He's saying it. It says here, was not about all the Jews. Some of the young Jewish Negroes. Hold on, where did I lose myself? I'll start at the top. These cases of proselyting among American Negroes are submitted without criticism. Their significance had already been stated. They show what was possible in Africa. They prove what has been done there through century after century. The few scholarly volumes upon those persistent and well-organized expressions of religious thinking that the writers class in Jewish heresies or sectaries have included to very few of the phenomena of Yahwist or Jewish history. The above cases also show that Yahwinism of the great Old Testament prophets, when distorted into a... let me read it again. The above cases also show that the Yahwinism of the great Old Testament prophets, when distorted into a pretext for a single racial pretension, only sets each race touched by Yahwinism to insert itself to be that mythical chosen or superior race. You see what he's saying? That he was starting to see this about them. The candid historian smiles at all these claims as baseless, but the passionate struggle between liberal spiritual teacher proselyters and their opponents have not been occasions for smiling. Savage Africa, 1864. This is what he shows. The Minion Philistines. The compilers of Genesis 10:14 knew that Philistine and other Cretans were in oasis strongholds controlled by Egypt. Cashalum, out of which came Philistine, and Caphram. It is not possible in so small of a map to show all the surviving Philistine communities. David's goat hair, Aaron's beard, milk maidens, Mary's hair, flat nose. I'm telling you, bro. So again, let's continue because that's what he shows, right? Let's go.
All right. Here's, you see Spain there. All right. I want you to look at the borders. Berber, Moorish, and Negro Jews. So the white man knows the blacks are the Israelites.
The white man knows the blacks are Israelites? Okay. Did he not read the previous page? He's never read to them the previous page, family. Because he knows they don't read.
Like, they know that. They keep this stuff hidden from us.
What do you mean? He literally printed the book, The Lost Tribes, a Myth. And he's showing how all of those are Philistine communities. Do you guys know what Philistines are? It was Genesis 10:14, I believe, right? Genesis 10:14, if I'm not mistaken. Here it goes right here. Genesis 10:11. And out of the land went from Ashur and builded Nineveh in the city of Rehoboth and Calah, and resident between Nineveh and Calah, and the same as a great city. And Mizraim beget Ludum and Anamin and Lehabim and Nephtahim and Pathrushim and Cashalum, out of whom came Philistines and Caphtorim. And Canaan beget Sidon, firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusites and Amorites and the Girgashites and the Hivites and the Arkites and the Sinites and the Arvadites and the Shemarites and the Hamathites afterwards were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. You see this, family? So who's the Mizrahims? Who's the Philistines? Leo Africanus explained that to us. But apparently this guy is this snake here is trying to tell our people confusion, because like our gente look at it like, huh? How come he never shows a map about our people? Oh, but I don't want to leave because they say if I leave, I don't have the spirit.
Now you saw it for yourself, brothers and sisters. You saw it for yourself. I didn't write that book. So now this little Arab boy.
You see? Did he read what the book actually says? No, he just showed you the picture. But now let's continue with this, because he says, you see, FOPI, you know, the BHIs, right? They used to use this whole concept of mamzer and shit. And it never went anywhere because it doesn't make any sense. Because if you actually study the word mamzer, it means bastard. And if you look logically, historically, and even currently, what nation of people have the most bastards, meaning children without illegitimate fathers, you're looking at them.
Well, it goes on to say that Frank S. Cherry.
Now, here it goes right here. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to do something. So, as you can see, he didn't show anything of the book. He didn't talk about anything. He didn't read anything. He said, oh, look, this is what the people know about us. They just don't share that with us. That's not true. I just told you, the lost child's a myth. And he wrote and said, look, you see all these people, all these proselyte converts? It's funny. Now we're seeing it here in America. And it's kind of funny, but it's kind of a joke, you know? But it's okay. They go around collecting money. So this is the guy from the Commandment Keepers that he mentioned in page 246, I believe. Let's continue.
Was a maniac. A jerk.
Then here, Nate the Snake calls this kid who looks Hispanic, maybe Arab, but he looks Hispanic, right? So check this out.
For yourself. I didn't write that book. So now this little Arab boy goes on to say that Frank S. Cherry was a maniac.
He called him a maniac, and I guess a maniac is he's gonna say it.
A jerk.
So a jerk. Yeah, for falsifying information, just like you. You're a maniac. You're a maniac. You're a jerk, and you're deceitful, and you're breaking the first commandment. Don't mislead. And you that support this idiot, you're worse than him. You want to know why? Because you're breaking the first commandment. As a matter of fact, he gives it to you in Exodus. I just read it to you. I'll show it again. You guys don't care. We're about righteousness. Huh? Okay. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Exodus 23:1. Meaning, don't show a map and then not show the page before it. Or say, here's the book, family. Go read it. You never show the book. You only show the map. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Meaning, you that are on these camps and you're pushing this stupidity, you're just dumb as him.
See, brothers and sisters, we cannot allow these other nations to insult our ancestors.
I mean, calling you Canaan? Canaan. Does that hurt you? Are you that painful, man? Are you that emotional? Let's continue. We're going to see the emotion come out. Oh, yeah, we're going to see Uncle Cham, mon frère. We know you. Again, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it will always still be a pig.
And they do it to see which one of you have the guts to stand up for your people. Because they know.
That's what I'm talking about, family. Which one of you have the guts to stand up for your gente? You see these stupid ass wobbles showing you a bunch of dumb stupidity. Instead of ignoring it, study it. Face it. I'll go, let me see that book. Let me see what they're talking about. I never ran from any of the material. I went into it. See, I want to know. They don't. They give you narrative. Let's continue.
You know, a lot of you, like, you saw the black man, the three black people on that little stupid video we showed earlier with him. He's insulting one of their ancestors and they say nothing. Or if they did say something, he edited it out. But I'm here to say, you might not agree with everything Frank S. Cherry said. I don't agree with everything, like the earth being split. I didn't agree with that. Okay. But he has the right to say what he wants to say.
We know that Frank Cherry was worshiping demons. So you don't care about that. So you're a demon worshiper yourself. Lipstick on a pig, huh? Let's go.
Okay. And in other nations, you're not going to stand and insult my people, and I'm just going to sit back and.
I just did. Do something.
And say nothing, because I'll guarantee you, if you insult the Arabs and their people, I'll bet you they come for you. Say something against Muhammad, I'll bet you they come for you. You ain't saying nothing against Netanyahu or their so-called Jewish rabbis.
I do it as well. Let's continue.
Huh? Ask Kevin Hart when he said something against Egypt. What the Arabs do when he said the Egyptians were black? They canceled him. Y'all think I'm playing? You black men, you better start to stand up for your people. That's all I could do is warn you and tell.
By the way, do you know that video I showed you guys earlier about the whole historian stuff? Let me see if I can show. Now, I'm not going to show you. I just want you to watch it, okay? So there, it talks about pictures of 200 BC, 300 BC, basically North African and Byzantium time. So here you're going to understand that at this time, even in that time, people were already mixing, fam. They were already mixing at this time, okay? They were already mixing at this time. This video shows. They're talking about mixture of North Africa because the Greeks had already been there. So if you're talking about that Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian, then that means that at that time there was an admixture. Even she says it in this. It was such an admixture at this time because of all of these people mixing together. All of them mixing together, every single one of them. So even if Paul went to Egypt, look, right there. They had light-skinned people. They had brown-skinned people. They had an admixture. Straight hair, curly hair. You see this, family? So if Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian, and we know that Ptolemy was already ruling that land, what do we know from people that come to certain lands? They go and mix.
You don't think when Christ returned, then you're gonna go, oh, I gotta change your heart. Now I want to be big and bold. No. You scaredy cat Israelites, move out our way. You little scaredy cat. Move, the Lord can't use you.
I'm telling you the same damn thing. Y'all too scared. I think that's what it is. You prefer to put more pressure on one particular type of people because you're too scared to speak up. Let's continue.
Okay. So, Frank S. Cherry, he lived from 1875 to 1963. Okay. And as the little Arab boy, the Mamza said, called him.
You see that, family? The little Arab boy, the Mamzer. The Mamzer. Let's continue.
5 to 1963. Okay. And as the little Arab boy, the Mamza said, called him a maniac, a jerk.
You see, family? So he just called that kid, right, a maniac. I'm going to show you which kid he's talking about. Because, you know, some of you guys look like this kid. This kid right here.
Who are you?
This kid looks Hispanic. So you Nate the Snake has called you so-called Hispanics wetbacks. He's called you spicks. Now he's calling you mamzer. The same shit that Fopi used to do. The same crap. Oh, but this is your king? This is your captain? This demon right here? This demon right here? This lipstick on a pig? That's exactly my point, my brother. That's exactly my point. Both groups are calling us the same thing. That's my point. But right now, we got to kind of put some of that leverage back. We've had it from the whiteys for a long time. We never knew this about these people. So now you got to defend yourself on both angles, man. And you can't drop the ball on either side. You attack them all with the same fierce aggression. Respectfully, with righteousness. Let's continue.
When it was whites lynching us, burning crosses on our lawn, hell, burning us up, burning our houses, stealing our homes out. 5 to 1963. Okay. And as the little Arab boy, the Mamza said,
this guy a mamzer. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, family. What is the definition of a mamzer? Okay. Definition of a mamzer. Mamzer. Definition. A child of a union not sanctioned by biblical law as interpreted by the rabbis. Mamzer. A child born out of wedlock. Supposedly a child born out of wedlock, meaning not a mixed seed, so to speak. But you see, family, mamzer. I'm going to show you this real quick. Matter of fact, let's go to. I'm gonna go to Blue Letter Bible. I'm gonna show you something. Blue Letter Bible. Okay. And I'm gonna look for H4464. H4464. Mamzer, right?
Strong's H4464. Mamzer.
Bastard, child of incest, legitimate child, mixed population. Okay, so remember when they use these words against you, that's what they mean. A mongrel. Okay, and that's a very insulting effing word, family. And it burns my chest. I'm telling you right now, mongrel. Watch this. Equals. So you stop calling yourselves this shit, man. Mestizo. Look at this. Mestizo is a person of mixed indigenous ancestry. That's not the definition I'm looking for. The difference between mongrel and mestizo. Mestizo, mongrel. Look at this. Mestizo. What is a mongrel? Ooh. A mongrel, mixed race, crossbreed.
I crossbreed.
You're a crossbreed. That's what mongrel means. That's what so-called mamzer. That's when they call you a mamzer. When this damn African, West African is calling you a mamzer, he's calling you a mongrel. Los perros mestizos, he's calling you a dog, a mixed dog. You, so-called Hispanic, he's calling you a mixed-looking dog. Because they believe everyone has charcoal black in the beginning. That's why they give you that super dark Jesus with red eyes. Then they turn around and say, Hamites are super dark. Yeah, I know it's pretty stupid. But the point being is mamzer here. Mamzer. So when they use mamzer on you, it means Mongol. Or when they use mongrel, it means Mongolian. So when they use mestizo, it means you're a fucking breed. You're a mixture. So when these idiots want to use these things against y'all, you need to learn what it really means. Deuteronomy 23. It says here, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even into his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation. Okay? So again, the bastard should not enter. But see, here's the thing, bro. We're not a mix. We're not a mix. You know why? Because it's of the Father. So it's pretty stupid for them to say, oh, we're mixed, but then to go off and say, what is it called? Numbers 118. But then check this out. The Ammonites and Moabites shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Okay? Because they met you not with bread and with water, and that way when you came forth out of Egypt. Right? You see this right here, right? Then it says here, verse 7, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in the land. And the children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation. Wait a minute, hold on a second. So earlier it says on the 10th generation, the so-called definition of bastard, they shall not enter the kingdom of the Lord. Right? That's what it says. And bastard means what? Alienate, a mongrel. You see that? That is born of a Jewish father and the heathen mother, supposedly. But it makes no sense. Why? Because technically, it's of the seed, right? Or are we forgetting that we had particular laws that actually governed us regarding mixture? Like, for example, Joseph, you know Joseph, right? When he was in Egypt, Ephraim and Manasseh, who did they come out of? Who did Ephraim and Manasseh come out of? An Egyptian. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures of Egyptians because these West Africans, they always want to run to Egyptians. But yet, I have a really vast history on Egypt. I just don't get into it because I don't care. It's not my. I was interested at one point, and I have a lot of books on them. History of Egypt. Egypt in the Egypt. Let's see. Hold on a second. So we see a variety of colors with them. Okay, and we constantly see. Look at their features. You see this? We see them, and we notice that it's not just one particular color, so to speak. Right? Give me a second. I don't like that. Okay, here it goes. Why are you opening over there? There it goes right there. See that? You see the variety of colors? What about this guy? He's really dark, right? But these guys are light skinned. If you go further into these things, you can see that even that, for example, she looks like our gente. So Joseph married, or actually, he got married to the Egyptian woman. Remember? Pharaoh's daughter. Is Ephraim and Manasseh mamzers? No, they're not. Moses had 2 sons. Are they mamzers? Let's read. Here. This won't be a hard topic, family. 23, 14, and 15. Now, concerning Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. Who was his mom? Who was his mom? So Moses had children. Remember they complained about him? You remember that at the beginning? In the Exodus? They're complaining because Moses took on a woman that wasn't of our people? So make that make sense. I mean, come on. Let me give you another one. 2 Samuel. I wanted to do this class before, but just never got around to it. 2 Samuel 3 and 2. And unto David were sons born on Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon, and Hananiah, the Ahinoam, the Jezreelite, and his second Shiliab of Abigail, wife of Nabal, the Carmelite, and the third Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmiah, king of Gershur. So was Absalom a mamzer? Numbers 12 and 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman who he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. You see this? Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And he had 2 sons with her. Are they mamzers? Where's Gershon? Samuel 15:8. Watch this. Okay. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode in Gershur in Syria. You see? You see where Syria was? Absalom was not. The mother of Absalom was. So what makes him a mamzer? It wasn't. It was basically, family, the types of sins that you just don't do. That's why Paul talked about that. He hears a rumor about a young man sleeping with his mother, his dad's wife. Incest was not allowed. Now, we weren't supposed to choose other nations because it was best to stay within our people. But now, if you're dumb enough to say, oh, well, you go to Tobit, and yeah, you're right. But even in Tobit, even in Tobit, there was certain laws where it's like you were suggested to stay within your own tribe. Tobit 4:12, beware of whoredoms, my son, and chiefly take a wife of thy seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. You see, the tribe. That says, therefore, my son, love thy brethren and despise not in thy heart thy brethren. So if you are, let's say, Asher, he would suggest, Naphtali, he was suggesting to marry somebody of Naphtali. Because even at that time, we do have lots. And if you marry, let's say, for example, let's say Judah, and you're, I don't know, Manasseh, and my daughter happens to marry your son is not my son. So, you know what I'm saying? I won't lose that land because it's still of my so-called under Judite land, right? That's exactly the point. We have those laws. Let's go to 1 Kings 14. Let me show you this real quick. I'm going to touch on this real quick. It's just stupidity, family. But remember, they called you a mamzer. He's calling him a mamzer because he disagrees with him. Just because you disagree with him, you call him a mamzer? Numbers 12:10. And the cloud departed from all the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous, like my tia. But again, you call him a mamzer. So you so-called Hispanics, you mestizos, because you're embracing that, because they're saying that you look like this because you mix with them, you mix with the white man. But I just told you that we were light skin and dark skin, came in a variety of colors. Let's continue. 1 Kings 14:21, I believe. Yep, it is. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 40-and-1-year-old when he began to reign, and he reigned 70 years in Jerusalem, in the city which the Lord did choose out of the tribes of Israel to put his name in there. And his mother's name was Naamah, the Ammonitess. Woo. So is he a mamzer? There was only one nation of people that the Torah told us not to mix with. One nation only. One nation only. To stay away from them at all costs. Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and had cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgasites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. You see, these are the people you stay away from. Let me get that real quick. Even what? Even the Most High even had the men get rid of the wives and children because of the mixing. Yep. First Ezra 8:93, it says, let us make an oath to the Lord that he will not put away all our wives which ye have taken of the heathen with their children, like as thou hast decreed, as many as do obey. You see this? Clearly. You see this? Now, keep in mind that, here, let me see if I can get this. Get the scripture out real quick. Keep in mind, though, that here's the reasons why we're not supposed to mix with other nations, okay? Now, Solomon was a wise man, okay? But even then, he didn't realize. And God, 1 Kings 4:29, and God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of the heart, meaning the mind. He was very smart, very intelligent, man. He knew a lot, family. Like, just can't imagine. I don't know, man. I can't even explain it. Even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country. You see, east country. It didn't say west. It didn't say Africa. And all the wisdom of Egypt. At that time, Egypt was the only one. At that time, Egypt was the only one that had wisdom. For he was wiser than all men. Now, here's where, let me just go back on this, okay? Just to kind of touch on two things. Here's where I have a problem with their doctrine. So Solomon is the wisest man in all the earth, right? But yet, in this chapter, they say he's a schizo. Check this out. It says here, Songs of Solomon 1 and 2. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For thy love is better than wine. Because of the savior of thy good ointment, thy name is as an ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. He will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun had looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me, and they made me the keepers of the vineyards, but my own vineyard had I not kept. This is the wisest man. God gave him the most understanding. This wise man is saying in the mirror, schizophrenic, talking to himself, saying, man, look at me. I'm brown and beautiful. That's not a wise man. And when does Solomon work the vineyards? So are you saying he's having sex with himself? Is he kissing himself? This is not a wise man that you're talking about here. But you know who he's talking about? He's talking about this girl right here. The Tishite girl. I believe it's here. He's talking about her. But let's go back. Now, I'm not trying to lose the point. So again, he gave him understanding and wisdom, right? He excelled the wisdom of all the children of East Coast and all the wisdom of Egypt. But what was the problem? What was the problem? Even with all the wisdom? That's why he wrote Ecclesiastes and Proverbs. He realized, that's what he said, vanity is all vanity, man. Like all that wisdom that he gained, and he didn't listen to his leaders, to his advisors, counsel. 1 Kings 11 and 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Ishayahu, ye shall not go unto them, neither shall they come unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. See? That's why the Most High does not want us to mix. Now, I'm going to show you this. Those people that tried to claim these particular things in regards to, we're not, look, scriptures clearly say stay within your nation, because if you don't, they'll go to folly. We'll give an example right now. We'll give an example. Numbers 11 and 1. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burned among them, and consumed them when they were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them. Watch this. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again. You see this? So the strangers were with us, but they lusted first, and we followed their way. And said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt, freely, the cucumber, the melon, the leek, and the onions, and the garlic. That's ceviche for you guys, in case you don't know it. Numbers 18 and 4. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle. Here it goes right here. Numbers 18 and 3. And they shall keep the charge and the charge of the tabernacle. Only they shall not come nigh the vessels of the sanctuary and altars, that neither they nor ye also die. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation for all the services of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not come unto nigh unto you. So clearly we see that, listen, there will be strangers among us, but don't give your position to them. You should always have that charge. Verse 7, therefore thou and thy sons with thee shall keep your priest's office for everything of the altar, and within the veil ye shall serve. I giving your priest's offices unto you as a service of gift, and the stranger that cometh high shall be put to death. So we know that there were strangers among us. In some cases, they were. We had a mixed multitude. Plus, I'll give you an example, another one. For example, Deuteronomy 20 and 12. And if ye will take, and if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God had delivered it unto thy hand, thou shalt smite every male thereof in the edge of the sword. But the women, hold on a second. But the woman and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoils thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. What? And thou shalt eat the spoils of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God had given thee. So here we see, but the women and the little ones and the cattle, even all the spoils thereof, thou shalt take unto thyself. Wait a minute. So we could take their women. You see, family. Numbers 31, verse 9. Watch this real quick. And the children of Israel, or Yeshayahu, took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoils of all their cattle and all their flock and all their goods. Okay? And they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt, and all the godly castles in their fires. Okay? You see that? Israel, our people took the women and the children and the cattle. They killed all the men and took all the spoils and all the prey, both men and beast. And they brought the captive and the prey and the spoils unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Ishayahu, unto the camp of the plains of the Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. Let me skip this. Get to the point. Behold, verse 15. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Ishayahu to the council of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Pierre, meaning another god. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Why? Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that had not known man by living, and kill every woman that had known man by lying with him. Watch this. But all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves.
You.
I love that one, bro. 1 Kings 11:4. Okay, and it came to pass when Solomon was old, and his wives turned away his mind after the other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, with Yahweh, his God, as was the mind of David, his faith. And this is why a well-instructed woman is because she has a well-instructed father. So if we raise our women right, they won't go a-whoring to other nations nor other gods. But again, it says here, but all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the Sabbath day. And purify all the remnant and all that is made of the skin, and all the works of goat's hair, and all the things made of wood. I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you guys make sense? Does it make sense? Because earlier we read, it says, take the virgins only. And women that had not known any man. So if you take these women, right? If you take these women, you go to war, say you're a single dude and you like them. Deuteronomy 21 and 10. It says here, marrying female captives. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahoo, thy God, have delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captives. Can you take that away, please? Thou hast taken them captive, and seeth among the captives a beautiful woman, and had a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and shalt shave her head, and pare her nails, and she shall put the remnant of her captivity from off her head, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother of a full month, because of you just destroyed them. And after thou shalt go on into her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. What the hell is he talking about, man? Make it make sense, family. Make it make sense, right? I mean, at this point, what else do we have to prove? What else do we have to break down? What more can we show that can literally maybe help indoctrinate some of these of our people? Because you know what? This is a powerful drug. Ezra 10 and 2, and Shekiah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God. What? See this? We have trespassed against our God. Sons of Elam. We have trespassed against our God, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Yeshayahu concerning these things. See? Taking strange wives of the people of the land. Yet there is hope. This is according to the law. According to the law, there's certain people we don't mix with. Right here. Deuteronomy 17:2. And when Yahoo, when Yahoo, thy God, shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither thou shalt make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto thy sons, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Make it make sense, family. So when you talk about this stupid here about bastard, there's also somewhere else where you see it. Zechariah 9 and 6, right? But check who's called a bastard. A bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Where's Ashdod? Ashdod is where? Palestine. And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. It's too easy, man. This is too easy. I don't understand why you guys don't see this. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, the only conclusion I have is that you want to base it off your stupid doctrine. So I'm going to show these people, once again, what your stupid doctrine is, okay? And you really think people are going to believe this crap. Well, I'm going to tell them exactly what you're trying to teach. 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. It says, now this I say, brethren, that the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. Neither do corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I'll show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. We shall all be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. How so? Says here, Philippians 3:21, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body? Who's he talking about? Who's he? So what they're saying is that when Shea, I can't really pronounce it right. I'm still learning, family. My bad. When the Meshiach returns, for lack of better understanding, Because that's what they say that he looks like. Revelation 1:14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes like as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if it burned in the furnace. So that's what they say. So when he returns, that they're going to turn, that's what it says, who's going to turn them into his glorious fashion. So you see, that's what they say, you see the Jesus is black man, who shall change our body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. So that's why they teach that stupid doctrine, family. They really believe that when he returns, he's going to turn you black into an African-looking individual. Yeah, that's what they truly believe. That he's going to turn you into an African-looking individual. We've known this for some time, and in case you guys have forgotten, let me show you one last time. Judges 3 and 5. It says here, and the children of Ishayahu dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. So you see the mixture? I'm not saying none of them are, but check this out. He clearly told us to stay away from these people, but that he was going to have us around them so we could learn from the nonsense. Because some of y'all don't know about war. So, anyway, that being said, man, hope you guys appreciate the class. I really do hope it was edifying. I know we went 3 hours. It's 9:30. Again, we need to continue to study and stay strong within the Lord's power and righteousness, family. Because look, maybe he's not our people, whatever. Maybe he is. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, because the moment you see him and you see me, or you see you, then that tells me that he thinks that I'm a mamzer, that I look like a mamzer. And in his eyes, his judgment is based on flesh. So you so-called Hispanics that are in these rooms from Sakari, IUCPK, IUIC, GMS, you need to wake the hell up, man. They do not have any interest for you. Everything is about Africa with them. Okay? Start understanding that. It is no different if you side with the Christians, because everything's about God loves everybody. But in reality, they have white Jesus for you. So technically they say it's about white people. Prosperity, white people. Skin color, Africans. Okay? Anyhow, fam, you guys got anything to add? Anything? Anything to say, man? You know what I'm saying? Any suggestions? Maybe another topic class, whatever. Maybe you guys want to hit the link for a little bit. I'll stick around for a few minutes, man. If you guys don't hit the link, I'm going to take off. Because it is 10 o'clock on my time. I'm sorry, 9:30 my time. We got 3 hours and 10 minutes. I think that's pretty long. It is basically almost done, this whole holiday shit. I mean, tomorrow, obviously we got to deal with it still. But it's not as bad, man, because, it doesn't feel as lonely, man. Lord willing, my wife and kids are watching this class. I asked them to, please. And it's all because it's all love, man. It's all love, family. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, nobody's coming on, so I'm going to play some songs. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. My family's going to come pick me up. And, just, stick around, man. Stick around. And if you want to join, click the link. If you want to debate, well, shit, man, bring it. Let's see if I'm wrong. We'll do it, in righteous manner. If you're not celebrating this heathen holiday and you're watching this with question or doubt, why don't you actually just maybe ask a question and we'll try to answer it, okay? All right? So, again, family, I'll be around, man. Enjoy the music.
Yo. Comentando. ¿Qué dicen? Sí. ¿Qué cuentan? Ya. Escúchame. Ya. Los medios cuentan que si hay libertad de prensa, la mordaz es cosa escasa y todos dicen lo que piensan. Y esa sutil es impresa y repetida diariamente tiene contenta tu mente con yo soy combate y fiesta. Presta el control, Tarantino no es tan gore como los crímenes de amor que a toda hora se nos muestra. Pues tal vez la estrategia impuesta. Pánico en el público y manejarás encuesta pal. Político en vez de patrullas se vende camilla para un hospital. Como si esa mierda de tombo no diera seguridad. No será casualidad que el otro dueño del canal sea el zorro sobrino pero bueno de tu primer hermano pariente papá.
Y esa nostalgia no es noticia, su codicia se evidencia. Propicia violencia y plástico, panémicas, belleza. Fútbol, patriotismo, falso, culos, vasos de cerveza. Pele cáncer pa' tu mesa y el domingo en misa pesa. Sobre su cabeza pesa el atraso mental del pueblo. Oposición vendió trasero, dictador, grupo Romero. Pero se confundieron acá, la palabra es cruda. A tu educación mi camino se afloja la lucha a través de cultura. Es como genera de uno, tal vez otro loco se suma. Ya saben, cortina de humo que explota la mina que mata la cuna. Primo, vengo que trate la fruna, no una pura canción de aventura. Así no censura, emite basura, no le conviene que sepan verdura. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves, no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía, algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, robo, violaciones, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves, no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía, algún día cambiará.
Sensacionalismo, amigo eterno de la prensa, el mismo que forjó al humano sumiso, callado y muestra. En el noticiero, en el artículo del diario, la vida de una bebé que poco invierte
al vecindario.
Sirven como fieles feligreses, oscuro intereses, mienten todo el día, crean solo estupideces. La historia afirma, indica que siempre negaron información alternativa que todo pueblo merece. A cada instante pareciera su labor asesinar una memoria colectiva que hace una nación, con una prensa cómplice que juega con humor, desconociendo ese dolor que nos dejó ese dictador. Cortina de humo es su mejor función, para apartarte de la fuente harán de todo, pues miró como venderte el culo de Sharon Stone, cagándose en tu derecho a la objetiva información. El narco, el almirante, el presidente, el congresista, algún ministro, algún legado, de seguro es el patrón de ese periódico morboso y amarillo que al leerlo 2 minutos te vuelve en un show. Los medios son culpables, responsables de toda propaganda basura que te ofrece la TV. Pues será mejor que se autoduque, pues my friend, porque el comercio de los medios te carcome hasta las 100.
Hay violaciones, extorsiones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves, no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía, algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves, no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía, algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará.
CPF.
Yeah, man. Respect and love from the world, nigga. Show them. You nigga on a microphone. Can't I sit in number for everything? Rock you on the studio. Bomba, claro.
¿De qué manera sufre el alma cuando alguien se va? No hay medicina que cure esa larga enfermedad. La vitamina de la vida en esta sociedad es tan divina que por nombre tiene libertad. Libérate de la mentira que está por llegar. Mide tu orgullo antes de empezar a hablar. Cierra la puerta a quien no merezca entrar, porque hay mucho que se fue y sueña con regresar. Hablemos en silencio y así no me mentirás. El poder de la palabra muere cuando hablan de más. No me fío de oraciones que se dicen por detrás. Si me miras a los ojos no te mentiré jamás. Que besar por besar es jugar por jugar. Y vivir sin amor es vivir sin amar. Solo queda la fe, solo queda soñar. Ponte de pie, ready para luchar. Some love, I can just smoke and there are some love them.
I can just smoke and the lights some low.
I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day.
Cali with a mama soul, yeah. Tell them around.
¿De cuánto tiempo hablamos cuando hablamos de querer? Si la mitad lo malgastamos solo en comprender. ¿De qué manera es más fácil aprender? Que nacemos para ganar y morimos al perder. No puedo dejar de animarte, que cuando te caigas debes levantarte. Llegué para contarte que no todo artista muere por su arte. Traigo el honor de un humano con valor que utiliza poesía para respirar mejor. Escribo prosa para vengar al amor y recuerda aquella rosa que tiraron al contenedor. ¿Dónde se quedó el amor? Hey, I know I sit here on no microphone forever, never. Tell me, roll some love. I can just smoke and the light, some love them. I Rastafari my life, some love. I remember no fire, no burn. Ribby day.
I live with a farmer soul, yeah. Reggae man a farmer warrior day. I really think. Oh, yeah, man. Si se piensa que la música es un juego, lo lleva claro, hermano. Desde España, internacional, bomba, claque, un Lego. Not really easy. No, no, no. You nigga on a microphone. Hey, tell us what. Tell us anything. Tell if I'm a rasta feeling on my sin. Hey, more love. Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, repeat them, repeat them. Hey, hey. La 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 la. You man a tribute from Black Hood Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé. Luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe. Viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Son los más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humor esteblón. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. One I can get respect from Volume 8. My niggas on Volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I got just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just your nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, oh. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound in
para pensar si hoy no queda más que reír por lo que nos hizo sentir. Si la intuición no te deja seguir, no te vayas a rendir.
te lucho, que mucha de tu fuerza nace de ti. Vas a ver que alimañas muerden tus entrañas, con sus artimañas extrañan tu fin. Sigue pues si tus pies tocan el suelo, el anzuelo no tira de ti. Grita fuerte si la vida te duele, que vuele el dolor, lo expulsamos de aquí.
That me ya no go. Say me lloran frío. That always ya go. Mira las nubes antes de perder las formas. Sé la luz del sol cuando no lo puedas ver. Cierra su boca cuando te hablen de más normas. Todo lo mal montado se ha de romper. Aunque que tú te rompas no hará más que estorbar. Si es bajo el castigo y mando de Lucifer, en verdad tú sabrás con lo que te conformas. Y yo con el super amor traer.
Hablan sin sentido y se enamoran, pero todo llega y solo te queda esperar. Pasan los segundos y las horas y sin darte cuenta todo vuelve a comenzar. Todo parece lógico en este mundo de plástico, hay que ver la fe cómo se va perdiendo. Quizás me quede afónico de ser mi propio médico y crecer sin ser un hombre que va muriendo. Tal vez me estoy volviendo loco. Tal vez viviendo poco a poco.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.